What is going on, everybody? It is the night before, really Christmas for us football fans. The night before the NFL draft. Jake Shavink here, of course. This has become a tradition a little bit. I know we had Drew on a couple years ago. I think Juice, you were on
hmm
last year as well. This
hmm
will be fun. We're gonna go through two rounds. We'll do some trades, kind of the final mock draft per so of the cycle. I think for both of us, Juice has done a more recent, has done a pretty recent one as well. He'll probably plug that if you guys want to check that out too. But it feels good to be here for sure. We're almost there. I saw a tweet from Pelissero saying that maybe Carson, he's not 100% sure that Carson Beck won't go in the first. So I think it's time. I think we need to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we need to
I
get
think you're
rolling
right.
here.
I
Pretty much
think you're right.
everybody agreed with that on Twitter.
Mm.
But yeah, Juice, why don't you introduce yourself real quick and let the people know
Sure.
where they can find your stuff and what you're working on and all of that as we get started.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, the best place to find me is here on YouTube, right? Couch Potato General Manager at CPGM NFL Draft. That is the flagship. That is the flagship. I do think we're going to be leaning in a little bit more with our Patreon offering going into the 2027 cycle. Very excited about the 2027 cycle because 2026, obviously, you start to get fatigue after a certain amount of time. So looking forward to resetting, getting into the summer scouting aspect of things. That might be my favorite part of this whole process is summer scouting. So really looking forward to that. But absolutely, YouTube. I am not as engaged as I probably should be on the socials. But
It's tricky
the
stuff.
demands at home, there's only so much time in the day. So absolutely you want to find me at Couch Potato General Manager on YouTube. That's at CPGM NFL Draft. And Jake mentioned it. Dropped my final mock draft of the cycle 5 rounder. I actually wrapped it up in the wee hours of the morning on this Draftmas Eve. By the time I got to the fifth round, my eyes were glazing over. And my newborn woke up. So there was
Oh
that. So I
man.
didn't get to finish the draft and then go to bed. I had to then, you know, take care of my responsibilities. So, but it's really intriguing draft. I really encourage folks to check it out. Jake obviously leaned in on it, had a choice comment there with respect to what I did with the Lions with the 50th overall pick.
Man, I can't have it. We can't do 3 years in a row of this. We can't do 3 years in a row of my guys getting picked to division rivals. This can't happen.
Right.
We'll get there. But I am deathly afraid that it could happen 3 years in a row for the same team. So I'm terrified. Someone brought it up last week. We just can't be doing that. It'll make for a great clip though.
Yeah,
That
you
at the
got to
very
knock on
least.
wood. You got to knock on wood
Yeah.
here. Hopefully you break that trend.
Yeah. Great question from Pack 247. Is this draft deep and at what positions? Juice, any thoughts on that as we get rolling
Yeah, I
here?
think so. I think so. This is a pretty good defensive draft in my mind. I think that's the general consensus. I like the value and depth at the edge position through the first 2 days of the draft in particular. You can find quality interior defensive linemen well into day three. The cornerback position is very intriguing. So while you may not have a ton of high end talent, there's a lot of guys in that day two range, whether it be on the boundary or in the slot, that are really intriguing players, are going to have distinguished careers in the NFL. So definitely those position groups, and then linebacker. I think this is an excellent draft for off-ball linebacker. Of course, it tends to be kind of devalued, and when we talk about the positional hierarchy, but certainly, and I don't buy it fully, right? When you think about the off-ball linebacker position, they're involved in so many plays. They
Yeah.
typically lead your team in tackles. They're generally in position to make most of the plays down in and down out. So, this is a good year if you need an off-ball linebacker or two. This is definitely a good year for that. The top of the draft, Jake, with respect to the tackles, we've heard, upwards of what, seven,
Yeah.
six, seven offensive tackles.
I think Jordan Schultz said there's a chance it could be 9 offensive linemen total in the
Wow.
first, which I don't think is crazy to get there once you kind of sift through and you go through names. You go, oh yeah,
hmm
all the tackles. If Proctor's going to go, I think maybe
hmm
you get Ioane in there, and then again one of the guards, right? Basantis might be that guy
Right.
who sneaks in, Pregnon, one of those guys, and then you kind of
Yep.
start
Yep.
to go, oh wow, yeah, this is. I mean, which it's understandable. I'm sure we'll talk about some of these guys coming in here when we pick them, but I don't know about you. I'm a little iffy on some of these guys at the offensive line at the top of this draft, and like I think you could really look at it and go, man, this might be a great guard class because I'm not sure everybody can play out there. And so
Yes.
then it starts to go, okay, well, a lot of these guys, it looks like they're going to be at least tried there. And then, hopefully
You see where they
what you
settle
get
in.
from this, yeah, you
Yeah.
settle into somebody who's one of your best five out there and you go, okay, we can live with that in this draft class where there wasn't a lot of these like surefire at positions of high importance. We didn't get a lot of those. We can settle in and say, yeah, we got a guard at 17. We can live with that. Like
Right.
like Chris Lindstrom, 2019, Atlanta took him in the teens.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out to be
Mm-hmm.
very, very good. And I
Mm-hmm.
think teams will live with that in this draft.
Didn't Booker go like
Yeah,
12,
Booker went
12,
12th last
14?
year,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
they're not afraid. That's going to be a fun team to talk about as we get to them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. But yeah, I think tight end, I actually think there's a lot of players who can be, especially if you're going to live in the 12 personnel world.
Sure.
I think you can get a plethora of these guys on the field as your tight end too, pretty quickly. Just because I think they do a lot of the requisite stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you want to see. Let's see. We got Drew Joseph Gleason in here. Hot take is Josiah Trotter goes in the first.
Wow.
That'd be interesting. Do you have a team? Do you have a team for him? For him going
Yeah.
in the first. That's an interesting one though. I'm gonna pull up this, but I think this is a good question. From Joseph says, "Who are y'all's guys? Like your guys in this draft class?" I'm gonna remove all of the Ohio State defenders at the top because I think they're just on another level. I don't know if that even counts, but Juice, the floor is yours. Yeah, if you want to tackle that one.
I'm a safety by trade. Many, many, many moons ago, right? But certainly love the position. I have a healthy disdain for the valuation of it.
Yeah.
My guy is an older prospect. I know Jake and you and I, we've perhaps discussed him at some point throughout this cycle in one form or another, right? Whether it be on the socials or what have you. I'm a huge Bud Clark fan.
Yeah,
I love Bud Clark.
that's right.
He doesn't present imposing size or anything, but just in terms of being able to do it all. And I didn't necessarily have that impression of him until I saw him live in Mobile.
Goodness.
I thought
Man.
very much center fielder, top of the roof, single high split safety. He does that well, but he was challenging guys in the slot and man-to-man coverage. Filling from depth in the run game. He's the whole package. He's a much better athlete than given credit for. The only knock is that he doesn't have superb prototypical size, and he's an older prospect. But I don't care. I honestly do not care because he's ready to go. He's ready to go. He's actually my third or fourth safety.
Okay.
I'd say fourth. He's my fourth safety in the class. And 15 INTs over the last 4 years. Like that's no small feat. That's no small feat.
There's like, if you have like one season with like 8 picks, you're kind of like, all right, what's going on here where you throwing the ball a lot? But if you're consistently doing it, it means you're in the right position. You're in the right position.
Yep.
And that's
absolutely
so much of the safety position is that, right? You can be a tremendous athlete. You can have a ton of range. There's a guy from Arizona who has a ton of range. But there's a lot more to playing the position. You got to be physical, the recognition stuff, the communication that you have to do. And I think change of direction needs to be really good on top of that. I think there's just so much that goes into it. And I think, with Clark, I mean, as you said, I mean, once you saw him in Mobile, just like the one interception where there's no way he picked that off. I don't understand.
Right.
And so it's so good. And just
it's a mentality thing with him as well, right? He's a vocal, emotional leader on top of really superb play. I again, like I said, he doesn't necessarily check the box from a physical stature perspective. He's a great athlete, tested very well. And of course he's an older prospect. So I fully expect him to go perhaps, late second round, third, maybe even into day 3, right? Maybe even slides into day 3, early part of day 3. I think that would be too much. I think he definitely is a day 2 prospect, but I'm a big fan of his game, and I agree with all of the points that you made in terms of the characteristics that he brings to the table.
Yeah, Clark's a great one. I've tossed this name out. Most people know that my guy is Malachi Lawrence in this one. I can't get over the fact that he knows what he's doing out there. Like I can't get
Yeah,
over it. He knows
yeah,
what to do. He's not just like, okay, well, I'll see if this bull rush can get me just inches closer and inches closer and have nothing to play off of it. And I think he gets a little bit all over the place against the run, but at the very
hmm
least, what you see from him over the course of the season, I think, is a guy who can still sit and use the arm length to play with that, to play with good extension and be able to get off blocks. Like I think that's there. It's just I don't know if they were asking him to go attack or just like, hey, do you do whatever you want, buddy, or whatever. Like
sure, sure.
just go attack and make plays. Like they maybe were asking him, but just just the ability to change pace, right? He has just an arsenal of moves. I think the North Carolina game is a really good example of him trying to win outside twice and then working back to the inside move on the third play of that drive. Like I think he just sets things up so well. And I don't even think his first step's that great. And that's something they can work on, right? Like
Yeah,
they got him to work on it, for his 40. Like I feel like that's, we're going to get to a point where if that first step's good, steps 2 through 4 are
yeah,
phenomenal.
right.
And I just huge fan of his. Pons, of course. I mean,
Oh
what else
man,
is there to say?
oh goodness,
People are like,
my
I don't
goodness.
like that he can't challenge the catch point. Man, I don't know. He that pick he had against
I,
Denzel Boston is
you
pretty
gotta
good.
watch the film, man. You gotta
It's pretty
watch the
good.
film. I'm telling you, that's a great one. Pons is a great one.
Oh, he's so good.
Going back to Lawrence, he has all the tools, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
right? In terms of rounding out his game and becoming more of a complete player, right? But as far as the pass rush is concerned, and I was late to the party on Lawrence. I didn't get to Lawrence until December. Um, it really is impressive. And what jumps out to me, the first thing that comes to mind is that he actually has a plan. He's not just
Yeah.
going out there to be out athlete the guy across from him. He actually has a plan. And as he continues to work on himself and refine kind of some of the physical aspects of the game, I think I understand why there is a buzz that he is a fringe first rounder. I think I have him squarely in the second, but I understand the notion of him being pushed up into those first 32 selections. There's a lot to work with in a league where being able to affect the passer in these one score games is huge.
Yeah.
It's paramount in terms of being able to get off the field. You see it on Sundays that there's so many games lost just because the opposition just couldn't get a stop. Their offense managed to get in field goal range, take a lead,
Yep.
go ahead TD. You leave 48 seconds on the clock and one timeout and you end up losing. Like that should be a win. That
Yeah.
should net a win, but teams struggle to get stops and Lawrence certainly can help to that end.
Yeah. Just trying to think, go down the line of other guys
You
off
mentioned
the top of my head.
Pons.
Pons is
I mean, yeah, I love Pons.
so good.
There's nothing to say about Pons. Pons is just
No.
small. He's just
Yeah,
small.
that's it. That's literally all.
There's really no other notes
Tackles
on Pons.
way better than all of the big corners tackle. Wants to do it more than the big corners do it. Like, yeah, I just the athleticism is pretty special across the board. Like, I
Yeah.
just even
And
like
he's no
even
flash in the
Delaney.
pan.
Yeah, and like even
Mhm.
Delaney McCoy, I don't think they transitioned as well as Pons. And obviously,
No.
of course, Pons is 182, and you go, okay, well, he's smaller, so he probably should, and that's fair. But still, I just don't. He did everything he could against Jeremiah Smith, and he got wins there, and that to me is like nobody else is doing that, right?
No.
He's just. I mean, you watch Jeremiah Smith against like Penn State and other teams where he just, if a guy tries to put hands on him, he's running through the contact and it's not slowing him
Right.
down. Whereas like Pons, yes, he got beat on that one big play down the field in the Big Ten championship game, right, where he tried to catch him, and you're not going to be able to catch a guy like that, right? Especially when he's built up that type of speed. But it's just the way he can challenge guys immediately, right? He plays 3-4 steps off the ball or off the line of scrimmage, and he's able to mirror quickly, and then he'll stick the arm out. He'll be physical. I remember the one against, I think Daniels it was in the national championship game where he just extends the arm and just it disrupts
Locked
it
him up.
immediately.
Locked
And
him
it's
up.
just, yeah. And I mean, and credit to him because he gets to go against 3 really talented players, during practice. And so those guys get to, really push him. And so, yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I give credence to guys who you don't want to summarily dismiss a player that has a big season, right? Perhaps a 1 year starter or,
Yeah.
up and down, i.e. Delane, right? That's for Delane,
Yeah.
bit up and down at Tech. You see the skills, you saw the traits, but a bit up and down. And then he kind of puts it together there at LSU, in 2025. He really puts it together. Has an excellent year. I don't knock him for that, but I do give Pons kind of that extra bump because since the JMU days, it's been the same player, just getting better, but still incredibly effective. You talk about his technique, but he's a phenomenal athlete. He's just small. He's just on the smaller side. He plays 3 or 4 inches bigger than he actually is.
Yeah. Yep.
He can jump out the gym. What was it? A 41-inch vertical?
41, 43. Whatever. I don't know, but it's absurd.
The ball skills, like you said, the requisite physicality, the technique that's there, his ability to transition, perhaps, as you mentioned, comes with him being a little bit slighter in frame, but there's really nothing he doesn't do at a high level. There's really nothing he doesn't do at a high level.
Yep.
He's one of the easiest evals, and you know exactly why he won't be a first round selection because he's small.
Sure. Yeah,
that's it.
That is really it. And so that's it's tough with that, and you don't. It's easy. It's easier for us, of course. We're not in the rooms. We're not putting it on the line for a player like Pons. But man, it's hard not to. Like, I think you go back to Sainer still a couple of years ago, who was really good in the slot, but like doesn't play in the boundary. Pons has played to the boundary. We're like not, and I think if a team wanted to play him at nickel, sure, they absolutely could. Why? Because he's physical. He's got he's got a great IQ out there. He knows what's coming. So I think you can. But I don't think in this league you have to necessarily at this juncture where we're at, with all these smaller receivers running around and slicing through zone coverage. Like, let him go beat up on some of those guys, week in and week out, who think, I can hang in this league at 175, 180, 185,
right?
And see how they enjoy Sunday with Pons. I think I'm taking Pons in a lot of matchups.
Yeah. So pound for pound, one of the best players in college football.
I want him to go to Baltimore because I want to see him play against Jamar Chase 2 times next year. I just want to see it. I want to see it because he won't back down. He simply won't. I bet he hits a PBU against Higgins too. I bet he'll out jump. He's like, I'll beat you at the rim, buddy. Like, he will. And that's the best part about this. Like, to me, he is. Yeah, I mean, if he's even 5'10", 187.
It's a different conversation.
Because I mean that's essentially what. Yeah, that's I think like 1 inch shorter and about the same weight as Delane is. So it's like, that's all it is really. He really is just is that guy. We'll answer some of these. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I have another one.
I actually have 2 more on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. I'm not going to go into great detail because obviously we can discuss them during the mock draft.
For sure.
But I really like what I've seen from Grayson Halton later in my evaluation. I think if you're a team, even man front, you're looking for a 3 technique, a guy who can get upfield, penetrate. Grayson Halton is a guy that really is. I think people caught on a little bit later, but certainly really intrigued by him. I think his best football is in front of him. I'm a big, in terms of first rounders, I'm a big CJ Allen guy. Big CJ Allen guy.
Yeah.
Going back to the Jalen Walker days. Number 3 kept on kind of standing out to me. Of course, they had Mondone out there, but number 3, for whatever reason, Raul Wilson, number 3 kept on jumping out, and then you could see why. Green dot, making all the calls in Kirby Smart's defense. Really love him. And then the last player that I'd like to mention in terms of my guys, notice I'm refraining from mentioning any Canes. It's not always easy, but I'm refraining.
For sure.
It's Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman out of Washington. This is not a good running back class. It's not. I mean, I don't think we have to kind of beat around the bush. It's a little rough
out there. Yeah,
it's a little rough.
It's like, if you're looking for one, buddy, I have news. You should have looked last year, probably. That's on you.
Indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
Not to slight my own team, but that's what they're doing. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, they're just guys littered all over the board for you last year. Just littered all over the place. But
yeah, for sure. And it's indicative of what you saw in free agency, right?
Yeah.
Teams didn't hesitate to go and grab guys. Even some of the, third and fourth tier options on 1 year deals. Bring them in
Yeah.
because it's rough. It's a bit rough. But Coleman, to me, I think part of it is the fact that you probably remember Michael Wiley.
Yeah.
Was that his name? Michael Wiley at Arizona.
Yes. I think that's right.
I,
Yeah.
I liked him. I liked him, and then he basically was displaced by Coleman. I'm like, who is this Coleman guy? This is back at Arizona State. Jet Fish was there at the time, and you know what I mean. And just watching Coleman, like, oh, this is a good player here. He doesn't have the elite top end speed by any stretch of the imagination, but the contact balance and the vision really good. Pass protects, catches the football out of the backfield. So I really liked him. And then he went over to Washington. I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. So it's not just me. That clearly there's something here. And while this past season didn't go quite the way he probably wanted, he was banged up a little bit. I actually have him over Jadarian Price. Price is a better athlete. He probably checks more of those boxes in terms of some of those physical traits, but in terms of natural ball carrying talent, mind you, I think Price is a good back. I give Coleman a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think when he pairs it all together, when he sees it, and then the footwork can match him, like it is really good. And there's a few of these guys for sure who are in that conversation of like RB2 who have some of that. But I think the added bonus, as you said, of the contact balance is kind of what sets him apart. I think Price does a really nice job at times navigating some really tough traffic. Mm-hmm. And when you have good enough footwork and athleticism, you can navigate that. But I do like the Coleman shout. That's a really good one. Drew says he likes Sam Roush a lot, which totally understandable. Guy who actually blocks, unlike most of the guys he talks about in the national media at that quote unquote tight end position. But yeah, Drew says he likes Halton as a penetrator. Yeah, go get Halton early. That's the thing, right? With the D tackle class, which will be interesting to talk about once we get this thing rolling of like how everything's lined up. I know you asked me once about the DT rankings, probably on the Hunter video, I think. I think it's changed a little bit since then.
Okay.
But I do think like if you're looking at DT in this class, I would chase the upfield burst first. Find the nose tackle on day 3. Don't mess around, right? Unless you want one of the 21-year-olds at the top in McDonald or Miller, and you think we can, and we'll get to those guys. But like I think there's some upfield burst that you should be chasing on day 2. If you have that option, and then go if you need the nose tackle, you can take care of that, I think, on day 3. There's a lot of great questions in here that we'll definitely get to some of them, especially when we start talking about them. Like I know, Drew, you got a question about the surprise first rounders. That'll be a great question in the late 20s once we get this rolling, and some other really good ones too. So I've started them all. We'll get to them as kind of I think they come up. But let's roll. I guess we didn't decide who had evens or odds.
Don't make me pick at 2. Don't
make you pick at 2.
Don't make me pick at 2.
Okay, well that means all right. You'll take
because I'm gonna blow up the whole mock draft. I'm gonna blow it all up.
Okay. All right. I'll give you odds. I'll take evens, which means we get the Packers pick. Usually I've given you guys that Packers pick and see what the direction. But we can obviously hash that out when we get there. So
sure.
Yeah. Well, the board's yours. Where are you going? Kind of like last year.
This is a tough one.
Who is it? Yeah.
This is a tough one. I just wanted to just talk a little bit about Mendoza.
For sure.
I was one of those individuals who wasn't a believer entering 2025. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It was very foolish of me. But I guess the tape I had watched of Mendoza leading up to the 2025 season wasn't the right tape. It just seemingly wasn't. I think certainly he found a great home in Indiana's offense, how efficient he was with the RPO. But it didn't really start to hit me until I watched the Illinois game a second time. The first time I was like, this is what am I looking at? This is kind of lackluster. This is kind of ho-hum. But then you peel back the layers and you see the accuracy and the decision making and the touch in the red zone, right? Not necessarily one of his best performances, but incredibly efficient. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, that those types of things translate. And then, you go out to Oregon, you face some adversity, and you bounce back. You just bounce. It's like T2. It's like the Terminator. Dating myself a little bit, but he just keeps coming. He just keeps coming. He puts a bad play behind him and finds a way to make the next play, right? And then of course against Penn State, leading his team late in that win, getting the stuffing knocked out of him in the Big Ten championship, coming back, leading his team to a victory. Low scoring affair. They're going to be games like that.
Yeah, I thought he was done after that hit. I'm like, well, there's nothing to watch now. It's over. We're done, and
it's over.
That's insane. I can't.
He missed a play. He missed a play, single play. So that toughness.
Oh man.
On top of pinpoint accuracy, and you see a lot of back shoulder throws in this offense. That to me is a professional throw.
Oh yeah,
like I know you're.
The commenters know about that.
We absolutely.
Everybody here should be like, oh, he throws the back. If you haven't watched him, he throws the back shoulder well. Yeah, folks in the comments, you already know. Like, I mean,
it's not. That's not a fluke. That's by design. That's by design. That's understanding leverage and the fact that at the NFL level, in some instances, the game has opened up for sure, but in some instances, there isn't a whole lot of separation. Those windows are small, so you got to find a way to get the football to those receivers. I think obviously he capped it off with the national championship win, crushing on Mike Caines. The Heisman Trophy winner.
They gave him some.
We did.
They beat him up quite a bit. I will say that Keontae Scott play. Woo! My goodness! Oh my god!
We were a year early. We were a year early, but I there's not enough praise I can heap on Mendoza. Mendoza's throughout the playoffs, he clearly separated himself from Dante Moore. Moore made a good decision, I think, going back to school.
I think
continue to refine his craft. I don't have enough, platitudes and good things to say about Mendoza. He's very impressive, and then he actually gives you some athleticism to boot. Has the right makeup.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, I think. Pretty much echoing all of that for sure. The precision, the deep, the out routes from the opposite hash. Some of those are just nutty throws.
The whole shot against Iowa, another game where Iowa battled after Indiana's offensive line. Right, Indiana's offensive line, save for their matchup against Miami in the national championship, I think that was probably their worst performance.
Yeah,
and again, just kept on ticking, dealing with the adversity, kept on making plays. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, really, the Indiana offensive line really had three matchups probably where it was like, oh no, this is a problem. It was Iowa, crazy, can't believe that, and then two teams with a bunch of first round picks on them. It just insanity. They had the Indiana offensive line. I feel bad, but they earned it. They earned it. They probably hurting, but they earned it against 0-8-2 in the Big Ten championship game, and then Bain, Mesidor, Moten, who didn't even come out, and it was crazy. And so I think if there was anything to put to pour some cold water, it's maybe he's a little more robotic than some of the new age guys that you go, okay, so maybe it's not elastic when it's not like we're not set, we're not in a good position, but he gets himself in a good position. He's tougher than a guy like Goff, who I think he stays up a lot better, when he's going to be, I think, more poised and less apt to retreating or crouching away from the pressure than a guy like Goff would. So maybe that evens it out a little bit more potentially. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say, really? He was tremendous, and he proved it against just two defenses that just really didn't give an inch to much all year long.
No,
so
he was terrific. He earned all of it. That Indiana team earned all of it.
Yeah, so Jets at 2. I think I know what you would have done here if you were saying you were going to throw a wrench in it. I imagine it was going to be Ruben Bain down here at 6. Which
sir.
Hey, yeah, he's better than Bailey, I think, and built for this game a little bit more as well. But I think right now it's Bailey or Reese for the Jets. It sounds like there's a lot of back and forth between national, local media, all of that stuff on who it's going to be. They canceled the 30 visit with Bailey. I think it's going to be Reese here. I think I have no problem with that at all. My only concern is maybe this is just like for me personally. I want to see him do a bit of everything. I don't want the Jets to throw him at edge rusher and just say, yeah, that's your job now. Because I just think he's too valuable as a linebacker. You talked about at the top how good the linebacker class is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, the positional value discussion comes in. The problem is as you said, like safety, these guys need to be able to do everything. So when you find a guy or two, which we'll bring up the other one, I'm sure shortly, when we get to whenever he goes in this thing, those guys are different players. And that's why you have, like, when you look around the league right now, who's the best linebacker? Fred Warner. And it's like, it's not really a discussion for, second is like a discussion. It's not really a discussion for one at the moment. And I think both of these guys can get there. With Reese, it's block deconstruction, right? The athleticism, the extra gear that he has in terms of getting to the flat. I think he sees things really well. Like there's really good stuff against Wisconsin and Michigan where he's keying, like, no, that's eye candy. I'm not falling for that. He keys a speed option really well, and he's able to get out there. So just utter destruction in the flat, the athleticism to boot. And then, the way he addresses contact. I mean, there's nobody had him in the first before the season started. You try to go back and find any way too early mock that had him. If someone did, congrats to you, but I really didn't see any. That Texas game, he is running. He is not giving up an inch against the lineman coming up to the second level. There was a play he just gets the right tackle out of the way after like one strike, and it's like, okay, so he just plays different physically too. And the strike timing is good, and the leverage is good, and he can get off the blocks on top of it. So just the physicality. And then there's just a few pass rush snaps where he talked with Ben Solak of like, I was just kind of vibing out there, rushing the passer. I didn't have any plan or whatsoever. And there are just a few reps where he, again, builds up 2 steps of explosion, tosses an Illinois right tackle out of the way, chops the outside arm of the Penn State tackle and dips underneath it. And it's like, okay, so if we just teach this guy some stuff, like to me, it's like it's a turbocharged version, a current version of Zach Bond. He is turbocharged in that way of like, hey, we can drop him down if we're going to have 5 on the line. We can let him just diagnose, key, be physical downhill, destroy the flat for us. The coverage stuff needs to get a little bit better. There's some robot technique in there, right? The play action. Then you got to turn and run and haul back to the middle of the field where he doesn't get his head around and he doesn't have the good feel for that yet, I don't think. But everything else looks so good that it's just, I think if you're the Jets, if you're serious about, we got 4 picks, let's turn this around, I think he's got to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't necessarily disagree with you in terms of the player. If not, but for Bain, it would be.
Yeah,
Reese.
sure.
And I think throughout the balance of this process, I felt very much the way you did, right? I want the best of both worlds, right? I want him to play the majority of his snaps off ball because obviously he has a great feel for it. Setting aside the coverage, which is, that pendulum starts to kind of tick in terms of maybe we should focus on edge because of some of the current limitations. But the reality is that he's a 1-year starter, right? He's a young player. There's room for growth here, clearly, both physically and mentally, the entire 9, right?
Yeah.
But everything you mentioned in terms of that short area explosion and his recognition, frankly, particularly in the run game, was really impressive. Really impressive. Again, I think, he took the cheese on some misdirection that led to, backs leaking out of the backfield and different things of that nature. Not the greatest feel for zone space per se in the passing game, which is why I think ultimately he's going to be an edge. But I think the solution is you spoon feed him those edge snaps until his frame finishes fulling out, because he's about he weighed in around 241 at the combine. I know he's powerful. He's powerful, but when you're facing, legit 325 that can get into their vertical set, 34, 35-inch arms, it's a little bit different.
241
ball of wax. It's a little bit different ball of wax. So I think you want him blitzing. You want him green dogging, right? And then you have a smattering of those pass rush, clear, obvious pass rushing downs. Let him come off the edge. Year 2, certainly by year 3, I view him playing edge full time at that point. I think he's up to 250, 252 or so. quality, a good solid 10 pounds, I think at that point we're sending him. We're sending him. I don't want him reading out play action and dropping into his zone and carrying a tight end
Sure.
in a cover 2 or what have you. I don't want that. I want Arvell Reese moving forward,
For
right?
sure.
So while I do believe he's capable of developing the skills to be a very high end off ball linebacker, I think the upside as an edge rusher in this particular instance is a direction I would go in with Arvell Reese. I just think there's some things that you can't necessarily teach that he possesses. That leads me to believe I just want him moving forward in whatever capacity, whether he's off ball, whether he's lined up, he's mugged up in the A gap, whether he's on the edge. I want him moving forward more often than not. So the challenge here in my mind is we've seen it when we have these kind of hybrid players at times. Mind you, he's a different player. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But we've seen when we try to put a little too much on these young players' plates.
For sure.
Right. And it's kind of a cognitive overload, and they don't play as fast and as violent as you'd like them to play. Right. So we got to be careful with respect to that. But
it is the Jets. It's the Jets. So
it is the Jets.
This is a good conversation to have, I think.
It's the Jets. It's the Jets. So but I do think, not unlike a quarterback, right, where you early in the game, you just want him to get a completion. Right. You want to draw something up to get him settled. I do think you can predominantly initially first half of the season play him off ball, put him next to DeMario Davis. Davis points it out. Arvell Reese just goes and get it. Right. Just goes and get it. And then you bring him along. Like I said, a full year in the offseason program with the Jets. I think, probably, early year 2, year 3, I think I would then make the full-time transition, but moonlighting as an edge rusher initially.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. Good to see some folks checking in. We haven't gotten too far yet, so you're not really that late to the party, which is good. They should trade out. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm always a trade down guy.
I mean, don't know that if somebody wants to
return,
like maybe you're in city. Your in-city neighbor maybe would want to go up to 2 if they're interested. Like that's maybe the team. I don't think Jerry's going that far. I guess you can't rule anything out, but I think that's fair. I mean, Jets have a lot of market picks, though.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I mean, they can still do it.
They already have a healthy number of picks. So
they do, but I mean, even if they want, they were like, just give us a little bit more for next year, so we can go get the guy. But yeah,
there you go.
That's understandable.
There you go.
Understandable. Now it really starts. Now I feel like we, is this a trade? Are we? I don't. These guys astound me plenty. There's talk about Jeremiah Love being the pick here. That's interesting considering who they've signed and brought back, but. If Bidwell goes in the building and says, "Hey, we're selling jerseys. We can't sell enough of the Marvin jerseys and the Trey McBride jerseys. We're not selling enough of those." My goodness! But the board's yours. We don't have to do the predictive. We can kind of just talk through some of that. Sure. And you can go the direction you want to go as well.
For sure, I think Arizona ideally would like to trade out here. I think they absolutely would like to trade out here. Position themselves to really jump into that sweepstakes of what we expect to be a much more robust quarterback class in 2027, right? So there's that. Again, I'm not sure what that looks like. I'm not sure who the trade partner is. Is it Kansas City? Probably not. I think Kansas City has more holes than people outside of Kansas City are willing to acknowledge. I think the Chiefs fans have a pretty good pulse there, though. I think they have a pretty decent pulse. Dallas, again, this is a team with lots of holes, right? And the question to me then becomes, okay, if we don't necessarily get the return, we're not seeing, the likes of Baltimore who went and got Trey Hendrickson, right? To me, that was a team that I thought, listen, you've been on the cusp for multiple years. You're getting Lamar back. It's kind of a fresh start here. Let's just put our chips to the middle of the table and go get Bain or Bailey or whomever to put us over the top, because we just haven't had that consistent pass rush in quite some time, right? But with the Henderson move, that I think that changes circumstances. You know, I think Arizona ends up making this pick. That's just my opinion.
It
I think
does
they
seem
end up making their pick.
does seem like
And,
it's trending there.
yeah, and there's a clear need in terms of pass rush, and there's a
Yes, there
very
is,
obvious need along the offensive line. Right now,
for
they got
sure.
Elijah Wilkinson penciled in at right tackle. I this is the Couch Potato general manager philosophy. Offensive line is the most important position group. As important as it is to be able to affect the passer, you got
For
to be
sure.
able to keep them upright.
Yeah.
Got to be able to keep them upright, right? It's the most important position group. I'm not sure how you have the tackles stacked up, Jake, but
Um,
for my
it'd
money,
look interesting when I post the board tomorrow because I don't know. I just there's a few of them where I'm like, I'm just not sure if you're playing there, but
right,
I
right.
you still can try them. So
I get it. I get that. I get that thought process. I'm going to give Francis Maui Noah every opportunity to play right
okay.
tackle. I think he certainly is better than any option they currently have on the roster. You know,
No question.
is there an off
Yes.
chance? Is there an off chance that he ultimately shifts to the inside? Perhaps. I think he certainly has room to improve his vertical set, but I think Maui Noah is exactly what the doctor ordered as far as 2026 is concerned to really stabilize this offensive line. And again, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with them opting for one of the two edge rushers, Bain Bailey, at this point.
Sure.
I do not like the idea of Jeremiah Love going to Arizona. I don't. I don't.
Man.
For numerous reasons.
I mean, everybody's going to be sitting here at all the live streams if they do it. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Don't let the owner run your draft room. You have to put your foot down. Like, there has to be something.
It just makes me think about the Raiders last year. Love Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
Love Ashton Jeanty. And year two, I think it's going to look a lot better, right? The new system, so. you get the quarterback. Yeah. I expect them, to have another year of development. They've added certain pieces. Linderbaum, the centerpiece, really their prize possession in this free agent class. But
could have had Membu on that team. Could have Membu on that team for Mendoza right now.
They could.
My
they
goodness.
Could have.
My goodness.
They could have. They.
Yeah.
When you take a running back that early, I'd like to have certain things in place already.
Yeah.
Certain things need to be in place. Are you a running back away? Maybe not, but your offensive line is situated. Like, so for instance,
when Saints. Barkley came into the Giants.
Yes.
Great example too. Like,
yes.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
No, you're fine. But it's a perfect example. It's a perfect example. It's like you have to weigh these things. And I know exactly how enamored the league is with Jeremiah Love, and for good reason. He's phenomenal.
Yes.
He's phenomenal.
Yes.
But I don't think it's the right move for the Arizona Cardinals. Not if they want to sustain success.
Yeah, I think the wrench got thrown in last year because I think Jeanty would have been maximized in Jacksonville if Cleveland didn't move off that pick. I think that was a much better structure in place and a play caller that I think would have had an absolute field day with Jeanty on that team. Like and obviously they'd still have their first round pick this year. But yeah, I think that just kind of threw the wrench in where it was like, okay, if he doesn't go to Jacksonville and he doesn't get to Chicago, it could get a little rocky in year one because some of these teams don't have the structure of the play caller to do it. So
exactly.
So at 4, I think this is going to be pretty chalky as well. If this player gets to this pick, I think Robert Saleh wants 4 guys and go. And while I would rather have it be Ruben Bain, no question. I think he rushes. Ruben Bain rushes fine from the wide 9. I don't think people even have thought about that maybe as much either. Like his moves when he gets a runway are super good too. We'll get to him, I'm sure. But we're going to go Bailey here because I think that's exactly what Saleh is going to want. He just wants a guy who can get up the field really quickly and play off of that speed. 4 guys and go. Tie 7 to the coverage. Thought about it for Sonny Styles here, getting his own version of Fred Warner since he got to go back to San Francisco and experience that again. But I think he's going to want the speed. And unless you could guarantee me Malachi Lawrence or somebody like that or an R. Mason Thomas at pick, what do they have, 35 or something like that?
35, yep.
I just don't think they're going to risk that. I think there's a chance both go before they pick again. And so I think they're going to make this move here with Bailey. So it's not my preferred selection. I think if that's an option for Saleh and company, I think that's going to get it done. I'd probably rather give them Carnell Tate than David Bailey, if we're being honest, to help Cam Ward out there. But
interesting.
I think if this falls this way, I think that's what Robert Saleh is going to want to do.
Yeah, it definitely is a pick in the image of Robert Saleh. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. And I've always been a bigger fan of Bailey than I think most of the consensus. I think he was used incorrectly at Stanford, hence the transition to Texas Tech. It's about rounding out his game in terms of being more consistent in terms of defending the run, clearly, and then being a little bit more varied in terms of how he actually wins. But I think there's certain elements to Bailey's game, certainly the production is there, but elements to Bailey's game that you can't teach. That you can't teach, right?
Best first step by a mile right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the name of the game is get the guy on the ground, protect the guy or get him on the ground. Right.
Yep,
So
exactly.
I certainly understand that. I talked myself into, you mentioned the 5-round mock draft that published today. I talked myself into Jeremiah Love, right? So obviously
I think that's in play.
Of my mouth.
Yeah, I think that's in play here for sure.
Right. So for most of the process,
sure
I've been like, this Titans team is not ready to drop a running back in here.
No, but they will.
They're not ready. What are we talking about? This is asinine. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
And then I thought to myself, if you can guarantee me he's going to get 70 targets in the passing game,
which
he absolutely should.
He can handle
which
it.
He absolutely should.
Beat Keontae Scott on a sail route. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
Yes. Yeah. If you look at it through the prism of I want the best offensive player to help Cam Ward, not the running back, but the best offensive player to support Cam Ward.
He is.
Then you can start to make an argument for that.
Definitely.
Right. I also think the Titans, although I don't think it's going to happen, I think the Titans, would do well to trade down. I think they would do well to trade down.
For sure.
I actually, referring to that mock draft once again, I actually had the Giants trading out of this spot.
Interesting.
The Rams traded up.
Well, I was thinking about the Rams at 12, probably making something happen here short.
Right.
If you want to do it here, I'm open to that discussion for sure.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think Cleveland's probably the spot for them more so than here. But also, again, if the Giants feel really, really comfortable about two players they're going to get in round one, I can see that too. No question.
Yeah. I think, obviously Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs has been linked to the Giants quite a bit, as well as, they have their pick of the litter in terms of those top receivers, right? I'm going with Love.
I think they'll have no problem moving one of Tracy or Scadabo if they absolutely have to.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going with Love for the same reason that I would consider taking him at 4, right? I want to help the young quarterback.
For sure.
I think the Giants are in pretty good shape along the offensive line. They do need to address the guard position, but bringing back Illuminor was the key.
Yeah.
Bringing back Illuminor, you obviously have, Andrew Thomas out there. He's a stud when he's healthy. They have made a concerted effort to stabilize their offensive line. They do need to add a guard. I think they can find that player here in the 2026 NFL draft.
Oh, yeah.
You get Neighbors back. You add Love to the mix. I think this team, when compared to the Cardinals and the Titans, I think the Giants are probably the team best positioned for it. And frankly, if you don't take him here, he's going to end up in Washington. So,
yep. Do you want him or do you want to play against him twice a year? Yeah,
correct.
Probably not.
That's kind of the prism I'm looking at this one through. So, yeah, let's go with Jeremiah Love 5th overall.
Yeah, I do like that.
And that's a great point. They have 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with Dallas and the Jets and some of these guys. Like you can get away with, especially I think once you get to 5, you can get away with the non-premium position type of pick if they're good enough, because you have another one coming up where, lots of edge rushers, you could potentially look at. Offensive linemen are going to go in that kind of 10 to 20 range. Like that's, you're going to have those options for sure. Yeah, I'm going to make this move here, I think.
Okay.
For LA. I think.
Oh, okay, the Rams.
I think they're coming up here.
Yeah. Devontae Adams and Puka aren't under contract beyond 2026. Adams obviously longer in the tooth. Puka having the time of his life, apparently. Too much fun. Having too much fun, apparently. I do think you get that straightened out. But the Rams, you think about it, it's not just a need at receiver, but they got a lot of key players coming up here at the end of 2026 and 27. They can't pay everybody. They spent big at corner. They're not going to be able to pay everybody. They already tried to trade away Byron Young. Verse will be up soon. Fisk will be up soon.
I mean, we saw what Will Anderson got. Like, Verse he's gonna be near there.
Yes,
he keeps going. So
absolutely, and of course, I think they've been able to buy themselves some time with the way Warren McClendon played at right tackle, but he's going into the last year of his deal. As good as he was for Rob Havenstein, you know what I'm saying, long time, incumbent there at the right tackle. He's also going to. So they have some decisions to make here. I think trading up, getting the receiver on the rookie contract makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'm going to take Carnell Tate with this one. Tyson, I think these three to me are. It's going to end up situationally. Whoever lands in the best spot is going to be one. I think if Lemon lands in the right offense that can feed him an obscene number of targets, he's going to convert on a lot of that. If Tyson goes to an area where they get him continued targets at every level, you don't have to worry about, to me, the lack of yards after the catch. Because I went in February going, all right, we're watching 2 years worth of Tyson. Let's see what it looks like. I was surprised that the yards after the catch wasn't as impressive as I was expecting. And so him and Tate, I don't think really have that, though Tate's acceleration, when he gets kind of that little bit ahead of steam, I think gets into, some of that territory. I just think him and Tyson just kind of lack the instinctual, recognition of what's going on defenders wise, numbers, where the kind of the path to attack is. I think Lemon's just far better than them at that. However, the size, winning at the catch point, Lemon's doing it. Is he going to continue to do it at the next level? And is he going to be able to play on the boundary? I think is the other probably big question. Is he going to be more of like the JSN where you condense the formation and then you get him the ball? Whereas I feel more comfortable with Tate, light on his feet, really good release work. I think some of the stuff that he does to set himself up perfectly down the field as a vertical threat is just so good. And then the catch point. I mean, Packers fans, go watch him. It looks like Jordy Nelson's sideline work. It just does. I don't know. Someone pointed that comp out, and now I can't unsee it. Just a glider. Just a glider at the second and third levels with just absurd body control. And then you add in the precision of Stafford. Like, just forget it. Teams are not going to have a lot of fun next year trying to figure out how to stop this Rams team if this happens. So.
Yeah, I think it's the ideal landing spot for Tate. I actually have Tyson ahead of Tate. I understand
I think
the
that's
concerns with respect to the injuries. That in of itself is fair. It's part of the evaluation process. Tate has a very high floor. He has a high floor, and I think in the McVay offense, he's going to get plenty of one-on-one opportunities. Whether he's opposite Puka or not, I think he's going to get plenty of opportunities to do what he does best. Right? He's nuanced. He catches virtually everything. Excellent at the catch point. I think the safest selection among those three receivers is Carnell Tate. I agree with that notion. And again, in that offense, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of really interesting names on the board here.
Yeah, you do. Washington is not devoid of talented players available here. I'm just interested what the simulator thinks here for who's coming up. Miami's one that's been talked about, just a slight trade up to go get maybe the perceived corner one or something like that. Obviously, everybody says, oh no, nobody trades in division, and then you look back and they actually do. Like
It
Jamison
happens.
Williams, that was a massive number of
It
picks
was.
being moved for that. Like
It was.
Devontae Smith and Micah Parsons, the swap was Philly and Dallas. Like that, it does happen. And I know they're not division rivals, but the Chiefs and Bills making a trade a couple of years ago was kind of wild as well. Like it's just
Hmm.
you think, oh, they won't trade with this team. I mean, if the offer is good enough, especially for Washington, who's got 7-71, not a lot to work with, they would absolutely
Yeah.
be looking to make something
And
happen
that's the
there.
thing here. That's the thing here is, do you add draft capital? They were very busy in free agency. Obviously, plugged a lot of holes via free agency, so it gives them flexibility, despite their dearth of draft selections here, to take the best player, highest player on their board, or trade down. I think there is certainly a part of me that wants to trade down, but I think I'm going to stay put. I think
Okay.
I'm going to stay put. And give me my guy, man. Give me Ruben Bain.
Okay. Okay.
Give
I
me
think
Ruben
this
Bain.
is probably where the conversation starts. Here in New
Yeah,
Orleans, Kansas City, I think are all going to have definite discussions about that.
yeah. I certainly the two names that I'm drawn to here are Bain and Downs. It
Yeah,
wouldn't take a whole lot to
sure.
convince me to select Downs here.
Yeah.
I did a film breakdown on Ruben Bain back in, I
Yes.
want to say, September. Back in
Yeah.
September on the channel. I encourage you guys just to check it out. If you have any questions about the player and how he's developed over the years, I think there's this mindset that because of the shorter arms, which absolutely are an outlier, right? He's going to be
For
removed from
sure.
certain teams' boards.
Yeah.
We've never seen double-digit sacks for a guy with that arm length. Understandable. I think going into the 2025 season, I wasn't even convinced that Bain was a full-time edge, right?
Sure.
And he transforms his body. He and Mesidor, under the tutelage of Jason Taylor, they transform their body. He's bending like he's never bent before. He's always had the power, right? You can't push him past the quarterback because he has that core strength. But now you add on the ankle flexion and the ability to flatten and get to the quarterback, dip, bend. I mean, the hand usage, despite the shorter arms, again, the tackles that have that really high end vertical set and it can keep some distance between him initially, they're going to be able to slow Bain down. They're going to be able to neutralize him. You can see that on tape. Doesn't happen often, but you can see that on tape. But
Yeah.
then you can reduce him down. Like he can play from anywhere from 2 to 9.
Yeah. For sure.
Right?
And the
He
wide eyed
can
stuff is really good. Like it's really good.
exactly
It's
again,
really
going
good.
into 2025, I said no way we go out to 9. 7 as far as we go. We're not going out to 9, but he can go 2 to 9 now.
Yeah.
So you want to decide to take advantage of a particular matchup, you can reduce him down. He, in my opinion, is a better football player, obviously, than David Bailey in terms of being a well-rounded player. He's a
Right.
better football player than Arvell Reese at this point. Now, Reese might have a higher ceiling.
For sure.
I wouldn't debate
I
that.
think that's
Perhaps he
fair.
has a
I
higher
think that's
ceiling.
fair.
But in terms of the player that they are now, I'm talking day one. The reason why Ruben Bain wasn't a 5-star recruit was because he did not look like an NFL edge. Didn't have the arm length. He didn't have the prototypical measurables, right? But
Yeah.
the productivity has been there since day one. I really do encourage everyone watching to go and check that video out after this, because as a true freshman, matched up against Blake Miller, who's 34, almost 35-inch arms, couldn't do anything with Bain.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything with it. Had no answers for Bain. Even saw a Bain long arm. This is well before I knew his arms were as short as they were.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there are some that are going to overthink this, because the reality is that Bain doesn't just win off the edge. He can beat you with power. He can cross your face. He can bench press your offensive tackle. Right. He's added the ability to really threaten on the outside now. You know what I mean? And when Bain crosses your face, it's problems. Now think about the TE stunts. Think about being able to move around, not just him winning on his own, which he does. And the thing I love most about Bain is that he plays and shows up in the biggest moments. the biggest moments, he finds a way to affect the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not overthinking it. And to
Yeah.
your point, this is probably where the conversation starts. I did consider perhaps the Dolphins moving up to keep him in Miami. You know, I kind of like the idea of that. But certainly, you know, this Commanders team struggled defensively a season ago. For me, it's Bane or Downs, and decided to opt for Bane here.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think you hit it on the head. And I think the other thing is, I get it, Bailey, the production, the pass rush, all of that. Got to remember, there's still another part to playing on the edge. And when you're, a little bit lighter and don't have, that level of core strength, the anchor, right? All of that, like the run stuff can look pretty jarring for some of these guys. And that happens. It's why Nick Benito's way farther away from the ball, right? It's why the Texans continue to try and rotate, almost two nose tackles on the field at times, because Hunter and Anderson are not big. And like Anderson holds his own, but they aren't as big. And that's where Bane, I think, comes in of like, there's going to be under center stuff, right? They'll find you out there. Teams run the ball will find you. The Rams, they're trotting out 3 tight ends. They will find you. They will they will crush you if you can't defend the run. And so that's where someone like Bane, I think, starts to elevate himself above all these other guys.
That's a great point, because the pendulum has definitely swung back to teams getting downhill. Seeking out your weakest link on the defensive side of the ball as far as defending the run and running right through their face. You got off-ball linebackers who have never seen a fullback.
No, definitely
at
not.
No
definitely
level.
not.
At no level until they enter the NFL, have never seen a lead blocker before, and they don't know what to do with them, whether it be the H-back, the tight end, motioning into the backfield, or a true, neck roll fullback coming downhill at you.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have never seen it before, so the pendulum has swung back. And I probably higher on Bailey than the consensus, but it's a legitimate concern. And the question then becomes, how high do I draft a player if he's not an every down player?
Yeah.
How high do I take him if he's not ready to be an every down player today? Bailey could develop into that. He could very well develop into that. But does the pass rush upside offset that to that degree, to the point where he's second overall in the class? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and then that it is truly where we are. We've been trying out 220-pound linebackers. I mean, Marquise Bell was playing linebacker for Dallas like at 215, because that's where we were. And now it's like, the Lions, I think, got a little bit out in front and said, we need a Jack Campbell on the team. We know where we're trying to go. We know other teams are going to follow suit. We need to get there. That's where the guys like Reese and Styles are going to come in. And there's some others like Anthony Hill's around that number. Golday's around that number, right? We'll get to some of those guys, I'm sure, but that's the reality. And that's why safeties, I think you have to be kind of have to be able to do everything. Can't just sit back there on the roof. Like, you're probably going to be asked to rotate in the box at some point. Can you do it? All right. I know we've gone in depth, and I think that this is, when you get to an hour and you've only got through a few, I think that shows that the analysis is where you want it to be when talking about these guys. I listened to one today. They went through the first round in like 2.5 hours. It just, that's what happens. You get excited. You get someone to play off of, and you get to do this. I'm going to push us forward a little bit here. Let's get to New Orleans, and I'm going to take Mansour Delane here. I think that when it comes to what they've kind of lost over the past 2 seasons, I know they've brought in Kool-Aid, McKinstry. They brought him in 2024 as a second-round pick. I think that Downs and Styles, I would prefer both of them. They're my top 2 players. But I do think New Orleans is just kind of lacking that guy on the boundary who I think Delane has plenty of great film in terms of forcing turndowns, right? When he's in between, routes, a lot of times the flood stuff, the sail route to flat, like he does a great job erasing a lot of that, forcing the turndowns. Clemson tried him a bunch in the opener. Didn't work out very well. He was all over it. The pass breakups all over the place. I think it transitions very well. I think the recovery speed is totally fine. I think maybe that was a bit of a concern. He runs a 4.43, and it's like, okay, we're good. And I think you still see some of that. He shut down everybody's favorite, late riser at receiver, Stribling. Buddy, couldn't do anything. So he's doing all this in the SEC. He made that jump, and he really turned himself into, I think, maybe not, I think when you look at prospects, I don't think he's in that top tier of guys who are like no doubters, top 5, but he's firmly in that second group of like, this is clearly a first rounder who should be going in this type of range. And I think, teams are going to be, I think, doing everything they can to go get him. I mentioned Miami. I think Dallas could be somebody who goes after him too. Like, he's really talented, especially because the other guy, who's supposed to be up here, and I think he's just as talented, is got something with the other knee that he didn't tear the ACL, and he's got something else going on with that. Who knows if it's smoke, but people trying to get him to drop. But if that's real, like, teams are probably going to be pushing for Delane.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. You hit the nail on the head. I think the Finns certainly will be in the market, as well as Dallas. Those teams jump out to me. So I'm thinking about it. It's Delane, it's McKinstry, and then we got Quincy Riley in the slot.
Really like that. They got Riley and Sanker, right? They got both of them.
Yeah, they do have Sanker.
That was really nice from them late last year in the mid rounds to do that. Really impressed.
Oh, definitely. This Kansas City pick is interesting to me because
want Dallas to come up. They got two guys they want right there. Kansas City maybe in a weird spot where they don't want either of them. I don't know why that would be, but
I wouldn't go that far. Well, I mean, anything's possible, right? If they're high on, let's say, Jordan Tyson, for example,
right,
they may roll the dice, right?
True.
And if for whatever reason, the Giants or Miami takes their guy, they can pivot to one of those defenders or something like that. But I'm going to make the selection. I think there's a clear need at safety. Caleb Downs is arguably the best player in the class. He's one of those where I'm not going to really go in depth. I think it's fairly well documented how good of a football player he does everything at a high level. And I've seen Caleb Downs return punts. Like, there's nothing he can't do on the football field.
It's true.
There's literally nothing he can't do. And the only reason why he falls to 9 here is probably because he's a safety.
Yep.
Right.
Which is really annoying, but
they're a good football players.
Hamilton fell to 14. I mean, Hamilton fell to 14. What are we going to do?
It's true. I think Downs is a very easy evaluation. I know there was some concerns about maybe some a deteriorating, knee or something like that. But I feel really good about Caleb Downs. Everything seemingly is checked out, and he's a force multiplier because he does everything at a high level.
He is incredible. He was doing single high stuff at Bama too. It's not that he can't do it, right? When the processing's that good, you can be sufficient in that area and still hang. It's just it's recognizing everything. And I'm not going to go on a big rant either about Downs, but it's recognizing that, okay, there's crossing routes here. There could be some collisions, some picks. Like, I need to make sure I'm on the right path to avoid any contact and get to my spot, make plays on the ball, tackle, change direction, all of that stuff that I kind of mentioned a little bit ago about what safeties are being asked to do. He does them all. He does every bit of it. So,
yeah, the start as a freshman out the gate for Nick Saban is impressive in of itself.
Like Minka. Like Minka, but even better, I think.
Yeah, so. and Minka was, originally a corner and had to be convinced, talked into it, and to say they. I distinctly, just real quick, I distinctly recall an excerpt from Terry and Arnold's his podcast where he's having a conversation with PS2 out there in Denver and Kool-Aid. And apparently Kool-Aid was kind of going through the process of not hazing Caleb Downs, but challenging him, because he's like, how is this freshman already running with the ones? Right. Nobody runs with the ones here at Alabama. He's going to have to earn this. And Downs is all business. So he's taking it personal, apparently, while McKinstry is just pushing him. But he recognized, no, he's special. He was a special guy. I didn't want to make it easy on him, but there's a reason why he was given so much rope as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giants here at 10 obviously went Jeremiah Love for those who have not seen. So
just do it.
Jeremiah Love
Just
at
do
5.
it, Jake. You
I'm
know
taking
what to do, right?
Yeah.
You know what to do, right? Yeah.
We're taking
Just do
Venga
it.
Ioane.
There you
no
go.
question.
You
No
gotta
question.
do it.
To me, he's the best O lineman in this draft. And I honestly, no disrespect, I just don't think it's super close. I think he is. I think it's kind of Downs and Styles on like the tier of like excellent top 5, no questions. Bain would be up there without the arm length outlier stuff, and then it's kind of Bain, Reese, Ioane, and then Love. I think you put those guys in that bucket. He's unbelievable. Nobody moves him in pass pro. The anchor's so good, the technique's so good, the strike, the reset of the hands, everything like that. And then some of the reach blocks that he can do because he fires off the ball so fast. I thought he's using futuristic technology to get to those spots. I don't understand it. It is insane what he's doing. So yeah, there's no question. He's tremendous. There's nothing really need to be said. Like Washington in a move back, they've talked about being all over him. Even Miami at 11 of like, hey, we're just going to get ourselves on the board here as a new regime of like, we know this guy's really talented and just fits right next to Patrick Paul. Like they could absolutely be in on that. But Ioane next to Andrew Thomas. Now you've got that for the QB on that side of the ball. You hope that the center gets better, right? You bring Illuminor back, as you mentioned, Juice, and then you have Jeremiah Love and you have Malik Neighbors. And I think Theo Johnson is becoming a really nice combo tight end. Everything might be coming together here. And to go Love and Ioane to start, I mean, that's to me 2 of the top 6 players in the class. How could you not want to do that?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think there's kind of the predisposition because, the Giants obviously struggled against the run a season ago. Glaring need at the second level defense. I'm going to take advantage of the depth of all linebackers in this class. I'm going Vega as well. Makes a ton of sense to me. Okay, I think
Packers South is up. Packers South. What are we going to do? Going to let him fall one more spot to the boys? Which I think could be. No?
I don't want to, but I think I am.
Yeah?
I think I am. I think, again, oh, man, it's tough. It's tough. They got 2 quality backers. None quite like Sonny Styles. They're not quite like Sonny Styles, though.
Yeah. This is where, like, maybe the other conversation is to be had. Maybe. I don't know if they'd be like, you know what, we saw,
yeah.
The guy I studied under when got a receiver last year. Can we do it? I don't know.
I'm that was where my thought process was going, but I'm gonna go get Styles. I'm not gonna overthink it.
I think there's, I was gonna think there's a small chance these guys. The mock I was listening to today, they got him, and I'm like, well, that's the most Ravens thing of all time. So
yes, that's exactly how that works.
It's the most Ravens thing ever of like, oh yeah, they'll just get Styles. It's like, okay, sure. But yeah, impossible to pass. He's so good. So good.
Yeah, the leap he made from 24 to 25 is insane. It is insane. If I'm nitpicking, because I got to give Caden McDonald his flowers for really clearing the runway for Styles and Reese. But if I'm nitpicking, he doesn't always play to his size. Like until he measured in at the combine, I didn't realize he was that big. I didn't realize he was that big. So I want a little bit more violence. But again, that I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking at this point.
I think he almost, I think to me at least, he was almost single-handedly the reason that Indiana didn't win, that nearly didn't win the game. Yeah. To me, him and Reese are just like they're playing with that level of like strike timing, get off the blocks, doing all that stuff. I go back to the Purdue game where the guys just pull it into space and Styles just puts him on the ground, and it's just like, okay, we're just on a different level, and the coverage is so good. Like that's where him and Reese differ a ton. Where it's like he sees all of it. He is going, they're running wide cross. I'm taking the crosser. See ya. Like against, I believe, Illinois that was. And it's just, he sees everything. And so like maybe he isn't the like mug up and attack, mug and drop type of player, right? He's not going to be that. Let me sift through the traffic and find the avenues to the ball. Let me dominate in coverage. Feels a little bit more like that guy out in San Francisco, maybe than a Reese, who I think is more of that turbocharged Zach Bond type of player. So
yeah, with his size and frame, I want to see more of putting that puller on their backside. I want to see more of it. Like I said, I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking at this point. I want him to strike fear into folks.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Yeah, I don't think he maybe comes with that level of violence. It's more of like he is just precise in where the strike is,
measured,
and he just gets off of it. Yeah. And it's more of like, I can just do this. I don't have to put you in the dirt type of thing. And so, but I do think like you get him. I think Hafley would have a ton of fun having Styles and Brooks in that defense. It's tough to pass when a guy like that falls to this spot. Now I'm in trouble. I don't know what to do here. Fascinated by maybe even moving down because not to like, put the whole draft strategy out there, but a couple corners that could interest me. I know there's a safety that I think Christian Parker's going to love down there. Whereas I might say like, hey, is Detroit? Yeah, see, Detroit's on here. I think it makes perfect sense. They want to go get a lineman. I know you technically have 17, so is that something maybe we explore here? They're saying just throw 118. I would ask for a little.
Oh wow, that's light. But I think they don't. I think they have a 1-2. I don't think they have a third.
Oh, they don't. Interesting.
They don't have a third.
Interesting. So do we do something like that? Or maybe Dallas has to send 92, but they get 50. Detroit wouldn't have a lot. Or it's just maybe they have to give up the premium potentially of going 27 with the third rounder, maybe.
Yeah, 118 and a third next year.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 points of difference.
I'm okay with that.
I think that makes some sense. Let's do that. Detroit has no problem with this. They do this all the time. And then we go get an offensive lineman. And I think...
Who's it going to be? Monroe?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's got more of the build rather than... I don't know if... Does Fano strike you as a Campbell guy? I mean, I feel like the biggest Campbell guy is probably this guy when he gets people on the ground and like
sure,
and they're gonna love. I think they'll love what he does in the run game sometimes for sure as well.
I mean,
like, I think they just gotta.
I think there's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of that streak there, but I personally think Fano. I think he falls in that category of guys that needs to move inside.
Okay, yeah. So then I think that means him. Yeah, I agree. And so I think that's where you just go get probably the freak athlete who then you don't even have to potentially move Penny.
You don't have to move Sewell at that point.
Yeah, and so and I'm sure you could if you wanted to, but
sure.
This way you don't have to. So yeah, let's get Freeling off the board here. I think right in front of Cleveland. Unfortunately for them, forgot about that. Forgot I moved back, and I was like, you know what? At 13, we'll make sure we get him Freeling. Well, too bad. I guess that doesn't work.
That's
that
all
way.
right. Detroit got aggressive there. Dallas looked left and right, and they ejected. So
yeah, there are receivers here though. For
Cleveland,
yeah,
and that's exactly where I'm going with it.
That's actually works.
Exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, that works.
I'm gonna go with Tyson.
I think that makes more sense.
I think his ability to play inside and outside makes a ton of sense. I don't hate Mekhi Lemon to Cleveland. Don't get me wrong.
I think
I could live with that. He and Fannin working, the inside the numbers. But I think with Tyson on the board, that's the direction I want to go in.
Yeah,
he's a good player, man.
He really
he's
is.
such a good player. He just got to stay healthy.
Tyson's like the Hooper of like, watch how bad I'm going to cross over this guy that I walk out. Like he kind of is that player. Cleveland is somebody needs. They don't fit on the screen. That's pretty good. That's pretty good there from Drew. I they got the slashing, explosive separation skills. Some of the in-air stuff looks really composed. It's gotten a lot better. There were some drops in there. I think the only thing for me with Tyson is, again, I kind of mentioned it, like yards after the catch wasn't as impressed as I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
And I think that he has some Garrett Wilson, Judy. Judy, I think, is a better. He's got some of those tendencies where I'm like, look at how badly I'm going to cross this guy over, but not stay within the rhythm of the play. Or, hey, I stacked this guy. Watch this move I'm going to throw at the top when I don't really need to. So there is a little bit of some of that. But as I've always said with players like that, give me the sharper movers who have to be like, hey, dial it back a little bit, type
Dial
of
it
thing.
back.
Just give me the
Yeah.
sharper movers all day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have the receiving coach, work on that with him. Right. Listen, we don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have that kind of that luxury here. Right. They got guys bearing down on the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Get to your mark. Make the play. We know you're capable of it, and get it done.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah, I think, but again, I think he just offers, like, again, Lemon, if you don't believe he's going to be able to play in the boundary, then it's kind of like, okay, we have Judy and all these guys who we feel like fit in this kind of Buffalo bucket of like, we have Fannin who can operate in that area, and so that's where it gets tricky for him, I think, going there. Baltimore, well, speaking of, I think, does Declan
They
Doyle
need a guard.
want his,
they need a guard.
they need a guard, and I think, and he was taking some snaps. He was snapping the football
At center.
at the combine,
Mm-hmm.
and I would feel much better about that than them asking him to play tackle.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Yeah.
I think it's
like
easy. It's simple. Again, it's not my like favorite thing. It's you would love to have a guy like Ioane come to fall to this spot and you feel a little more comfortable. But again, trying to get a best five, this is that type of draft, right? We talked about at the top. If you're like, oh no, we got a starting guard for a long time at 14 in this class, it's like, oh well, I think we can live with that. I think we can live with it. This one is honestly, forgot about this spot as like this spot where I just struggle all the time. Of like, who is this? I don't know. I have no idea who this is. And like could these guys go finish the job then? Because they've already moved down and they've got some capital maybe to play with if they think so.
Do you get aggressive?
Do you go get a left tackle and not wait? If you don't think Proctor's a tackle, and if you're worried about what the development track could look like here, and you don't think Miller can play on the left side, the options start to wane a little bit.
Yeah,
and you go,
It makes sense,
especially for Tampa, because it's just like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think typically I have Cleveland climbing up to 15 or 16 in mock drafts. So it does make sense. I think the guys that I covet for the Bucks will be available at that point. So, yeah, I think Cleveland should get aggressive.
Can we just send this guy back that we just got? It's pretty close. Do we need a little bit extra maybe? Oh, no, it actually skews that to Cleveland.
Drop down to the third. Drop down to the third as opposed to 61. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. I'll just force it anyway.
Yeah.
We're not gonna haggle, but yeah, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem. No problem.
That's that helps. I think that makes it easier for you now to go to pick it at 15 without the
so the tackle that I like at this point is probably Cleveland's worst nightmare, right? Because there's a question about familiarity and the amount of time he's been playing the game, not alone the position, but
got time.
Where
are you going?
Ihanachor, nobody moves like Ihanachor. Nobody moves like Ihanachor. Monroe Freeland, for all of his athleticism, nobody moves like Ihanachor and has the power to complement it.
Yep.
I think there's a very real chance that when it's all said and done, he's the best tackle in this class.
Let's go. Yes. Now we're talking.
I'm
Plus, they have the time, right? They're not going anywhere right now.
yes,
That I think is the big thing
yes.
too.
Absolutely. You're not sure whether or not, and I like what Cleveland has done. There's more work to be done, obviously, but I like
For
what they've
sure.
done, plugging some of the holes. They made the trade for Titus Howard, brought in a number of veterans in the interior offensive line. DeJuan Jones is on the mend, but I don't think Jones is part of your long-term plans. I don't think you can trust him to stay healthy, right? Ihanachor, generally speaking, I want polished, real polished
Sure.
players. I think he's further ahead than I would have expect of a super athletic guy who's only been
Yep.
playing the game for 4 years. He's already ahead of the curve, right? If
100%.
his hands were just all over the place and his footwork was tripping over his own feet, we're having a different conversation.
That's
But
good. That's good.
but yeah, for my money, give me Ihanachor.
I love this.
Give me Ihanachor. He's nasty too.
I think because I'm converting so many of these guys to guard, I think he's going to be tackle too for me, and I'm just going to call it a day and see what happens. Guess we'll see what happens down the line.
Yeah.
I agree. I this is great because he doesn't get to Philly then, which is always a plus. This is always a plus. I just think they're going to have. I think Howie's going to lose his mind if he's there at 23. I think this is way better. Also, teammates, by the way, going to Cleveland. Not to mention. So there you go. Tyson and Ihanachor.
There you go.
That's not bad. And they've still got now that second rounder from the Rams to play with. So all right. Jets at 16. We've gone Reese. And yeah, I think we open the door here for Mekhi Lemon. He's got a one in the building already. One of my favorites in Wilson in the league. And yeah, their receiver room it's not great. If Lemon doesn't get here, I think Cooper's in play. But for me, it's attacking the catch point, with confidence. And it's not even just like the elevation stuff or the through contact stuff. It's when he's in those zones where he's not leaping unnecessarily or he's not drifting or anything like that. I think it's just precise attack of the football at all times. Down the field, at the line of scrimmage, all of it. The catch to attack transition, the footwork to make people miss, to set that up before the ball is in his hands is really good. I think he's the best storyteller in the class right now in terms of how he puts the route together and how he gets guys to open up and attacks the blind spot. And he's just on the path of just adjusting to what's happening, throughout the play. I just that level of feel. I just think is so good, and the Jets, the Browns getting Tyson and Ihanachor, the Jets getting Lemon and Reese. Man, I might have to. There might be some narratives, that are changing because of this. So
yeah, and I think to your point
else.
with Lemon, from my purposes, generally speaking, that's the floor at 16. I don't think he gets past the Jets at 16. I think if you just take him for what he is, right? The willingness to do the dirty work, the field, the savvy. I can't ignore what he did for that offense. I was expecting Jacoby Lane to take a leap, and Lemon was the guy, right? Lemon was the guy going into the season, and then he became, a capital GUI coming out of this season. The combine shenanigans, setting that aside, I think the Jets get a great one in that particular selection. And I don't know if the Jets are done in terms of their receiving room. I wouldn't rule it out at that point, but I really like Lemon. And like I said before, if the Rams, for instance, they don't necessarily make the trade up, right?
Yeah,
I could live with Lemon. Cleveland, I could live with Lemon, right?
Sure.
There are worse things, you know what I mean?
For
So,
sure.
I think this is definitely the floor for Mekhi Lemon.
Honestly, just add the combine shenanigans in the plus column. Receiver ones are kind of crazy. The receiver ones are nuts a little bit. Like just add it to the list of guys who are kind of a little bit nuts for wide receiver ones. So maybe he just is wide receiver one because of that. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. The board actually presented itself decently for Dallas, even in the move down of like guys they might have considered anyway. But
Yeah.
I love to hear your thoughts on this for sure.
Um,
Because it's obvious, it's also your pick as well. Just to
right.
make sure I point that out.
And I did the thing that you did, right? So you traded down with Cleveland and you had Detroit trade in front of them.
Yeah.
We trade down with Dallas and we have Cleveland trade in front of them, or rather trade down with the Bucks, and now Dallas is sitting here at 17. So I forgot about that
Yeah.
because the player that I'm going to go with here, even in the deep off-ball class, is CJ Allen. Give me the
Okay.
green dot.
Okay.
Give me the green dot. I think
Yeah.
I think for whatever reason, perhaps it's maybe not necessarily the most fluid or in pass coverage, but the instincts are off the charts. Tremendous run defender, one of the smartest football players in this class, and I think that's exactly what Dallas needs in the middle of their defense. They're making this transition to a 34. They need physicality and they need smarts. They need guys
Yes.
to be where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And when they're in position to make a play, actually make the play. So yeah, I think for whatever reason, some people may never have been as high, but certainly it seems like CJ Allen's star has diminished some.
Yeah.
I was considering him at 15 to the Bucks. That's how high I'm
I
on
think
CJ Allen.
I think that's fair. I think they'd love to have him at 24. Yeah, and a move down. No question. Yeah, I know everybody, there's plenty of resources and numbers and stats to look at with Allen. I'm sure folks have, if you have a subscription, have found your way to the coverage grade from last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But here's where the just looking at that number doesn't help you very much. No one was given tougher assignments, even the boys at Ohio State, because they have each other. Those three have each other, which is a really nice thing to lean on sometimes when you make a mistake. Allen doesn't have anybody to lean on. No disrespect to some of the guys up front or some of the corners, even some of this draft. Like
Kristen Miller.
I don't think he has a lot of help. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And so it's like, hey, why don't you go from the far hash to cover this wheel route? Why don't you go from the far hash to cover, some of these dig routes? Like he was given extremely tough assignments. And I think that is partially why you're like, oh, well, he's failing a lot in covers. Yeah, because George is like, man, we need you over our safeties and some of our corners to go make plays because we don't have the horses besides you. And so I think, are there times flowing downhill where he's wrong? Sure, of course. Yep. That's part of playing linebacker. But I'll tell you what, he wants to be a part of the collision stuff, and he's I'd rather someone be confidently wrong than passively wrong, because that confidence tells me, okay, you can go when it's go time and it's there, versus like, I'm not sure, maybe it is there this time or not. I would rather have the former of just like he is going, and when he's right and with more coaching and more film breakdown and all of that stuff, I think he's just going to be right a lot more because he is not hesitating and he has already that baseline level of football IQ.
You're not overstating the amount they put on CJ Allen's plate, right?
It's
so that's
insane.
The
it's genuinely nuts.
Part of it. That's the physical part of it. The cognitive load of not just being the green dot, but making all the checks. They're not looking to the sideline to make the checks. CJ Allen is making
this is a different defense than most. Yeah.
This is a different defense here.
Yeah.
He's making all of the checks. So I think that level of trust in a player, in the midst of, this Kirby Smart era where, this may not be one of the more down defenses he's had.
Yeah.
And I go back. He's a player that kind of jumped off the page when I was studying Jalen Walker and fell in love with Jalen Walker's game. CJ Allen just kept flashing. Yes. And of course, better team around him at that point. I do think Drew's point regarding the emergence of Jacob Rodriguez is because
he's got the numbers in those turnover columns, perhaps that are helping him a little bit there.
That is probably perhaps even more so than the pass coverage grade is the fact that CJ Allen's not making those splash plays necessarily.
Yeah. Plus the added testing from Rodriguez as well.
There you go.
Probably also is like, okay, here he comes type of thing.
Yeah. I think, and this is not a knock of Rodriguez. It's not a knock of Rodriguez. I think there's more to come. I think Rodriguez is Right. I think
Yeah,
this
I
is who
mean,
he
gosh,
is.
this class is nuts. It's
Beautiful
crazy.
class.
It's awesome
Beautiful
if you
class.
need it.
And considering that I have 2 first round picks, I'm willing to take my preferred linebacker when I think you frankly have 2 needs at inside linebacker
Yeah,
in this defense, right?
yeah,
Shamar James is intriguing, young player, intriguing but not proven.
yeah,
And I'm not even sure who's playing next to him right at the moment. So,
yeah. Because they
yeah,
cut Wilson,
yeah,
right? They cut him,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know. Because and they moved the Notre Dame guy to outside linebacker, right? Oh,
Mhm.
what's his name?
I don't think he can live there though.
Probably
Not now
not,
that they're
but
playing that scheme change. But yeah,
yeah,
Lou
but
Fowl, Lou Fowl.
Lufau, yeah, that's right, Maris
Yeah,
Lufau, yeah.
yeah,
So they kind of do need both, yeah. Okay, I think there's only two options here for Minnesota. Even though I think because they have a receiver who consistently gets into trouble, I would think about it. If I were them, to be honest, I would think about either one of Concepcion or Cooper as
really.
the flanker
Okay.
to Jefferson.
Tennis. Hmm.
But I think it's Thieneman or it's
Mm,
McDonald here. I think either one of those they shed the contracts of the guys that weren't going to help them and kind of mini tear it down type of thing. We kind of talked
yeah.
about before going on. I think before right about the yeah. There's a chance, people don't take this for gospel, but there's a chance that Grenard is an Eagle by the end of this week, and so that again puts another thing in Minnesota's of like, yeah, we just we're kind of gutting this and we need to build it back up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think to me, I would rather do it with Thieneman. I
Mm,
think it's hilarious because it's like, okay, well, this is the closest you can get to like filling the shoes of a quarterback, right? Of like, oh, Legends retired, it's your turn. Thieneman has
hmm.
to fill the shoes of Harrison Smith if he
Harrison
goes
Smith.
here. Like they're going to ask him to
Yeah.
do that, and I think when it comes to at Purdue, and again, like very much like Downs, I don't think he's quite to Downs' level, but I think he's up there in terms of at
Hmm.
least in this class of like he should be around top 12, 11 players to me because you've seen the single high experience at Purdue. He has the legit range when you put him in those quarters stuff. Man, the ability he's going to have poaching, when they're looking at 3x1s and
Hmm.
to be able to close the sideline from just the hash, like that's going to be like just kind of cakewalk for him. He's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, I don't have to,
Easy pickings.
I don't have to use that much energy to get there. And then I think the tackling is solid. I don't think it's like he's not
Hmm.
a hammer like Downs or that enforcer type, but he's fine there. The change of direction's good, and the football intelligence is good. And so you put the ball skills that he has at times as kind of icing on the cake. Great, we're gonna just do that.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of the evaluation. I've heard a lot along the lines of Minnesota not going in this direction, right? It seems
There,
so,
it does, but yeah,
matter of fact, like this is perfect, right? Harrison Smith has had this long decorated career, and now we just get
the
effectively a
next
carbon
one,
copy,
yeah,
right? But it does seem to be a desire to perhaps work it front to back
yeah, which
a
I
little bit.
totally understand if they're gonna do
Yes.
this. This
So
makes
when
sense.
you
He's
brought up Caden
21.
McDonald, yeah, yeah,
Makes perfect sense to me. No
yeah,
question. I just
yeah.
wonder how is everyone gonna see the D line class as a whole?
Sure,
I think is gonna be
sure.
interesting. Like I think if Banks doesn't have the foot injuries,
Hmm.
I think Minnesota might consider that and
Yeah, I think Banks is
just go
special.
there. It's just
I
these
think
guys don't
Banks is
move like
special.
that at that size. It's
No,
crazy.
no,
But
and it
maybe
was funny
that's
because obviously injured,
yeah.
right? Spent a lot of time in the hot tub, but he missed the majority of 2025. He goes to Mobile, and day one he looks like a fish out of water. Halfway through day two, he looks like the best player on the field.
Yeah.
Like he's supremely talented. I think perhaps in a trade down scenario,
Yeah.
you want some of the upside, the pass rush upside that Banks possesses as compared to McDonald.
Yeah.
Maybe under those circumstances, you do it, but no, then it makes a ton of sense to
Yeah.
the Vikings. I'm not sure why. At least it might be smoke. It might be smoke, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
You
don't
never
I don't
know.
see any issue with it.
I got to keep tabs on this, the like 48 hours, 72 hours before the draft. I need
Mhm.
to keep track of what's just utter crap that people are talking
Right,
during
right.
this week where it's like you go back 2 weeks ago or something like that, where you just have a good feel for, okay, yeah, this is kind of things that the beat writers are talking about. And
Mm.
I really need to keep tabs of that better. Drew, I didn't forget this comment because I remember it way back when we started. Thieneman getting overlooked a little bit because of downs. I think that's fair, at least relative to a lot of these guys that are going in this range. I tend to agree just because I think he is. I don't know if he's quite. I don't know if he's as good as Watts last year, but people didn't really like Watts. So Watts wasn't great as, and the NFL didn't like Watts. Not sure why that is.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
90 something. What was that? I don't understand.
That was a mistake.
Crazy,
they got Watts and Billy Bowman.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Falcons nailed it. Albeit Pierce with his antics.
Other than
yeah,
potentially having a
for
shot
sure.
at somebody in this first round, but
yeah.
Carolina.
Carolina. A couple different directions we could go in here, but I think it's time for Sadiq to come off the board.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, just another option. That room currently, Jatavian Sanders is on the man. Tremble had an injury late last season. Neither one have really established themselves. Sanders hasn't really had an opportunity to at this point. Hopefully he can get healthy and continue to develop. But I think Sadiq in the H-back role, he competes in line, can flex him. I do want to see them put a little bit more on his plate in terms of that route tree, right? Oregon was a bit, elementary in terms of what they asked him to do, but I'm going to try to harness. I'm going to try to harness all that physical ability that he possesses, and the fact that he competes, and
that's the biggest thing
in terms of run blocking. That gives me the confidence to go ahead and move forward with this and see if we can truly unlock him.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, and I'm going to make sure we keep this going just at pick 20. But yeah, I think for me, it's just I don't think I don't think in the horizontal breaking stuff, I don't think he's just ever going to be as sharp as a Colson Loveland.
Sure.
In that regard, I think he's just
not that loose.
This guy I talked to last week does great tight end work and talks a lot about this. He does kind of have like Kraft's skill set, but just doesn't have the body type to do it. Like he's this tremendous linear player, obviously a way better leaper than a guy like Kraft. And obviously that, part of that is being a little lighter, but he has all of that. And what I really want him to succeed is because he wants it. Like you said, he wants to be that guy. Losing reps to Mikal Kamara in those games against Indiana at the point of attack is just not like giving me you're surefire, like top of the line, true tight end. Like he would be unreal if the Niners said, let's just get the use check successor. Right. And I think the good thing about Carolina is they do a lot of drop back stuff, true drop back, find a lot of space. We're gonna make you cover every blade of grass, and this is a guy you want to be a part of that. I think that's how it can work.
Good call.
Oh boy, what do I do here? I need some guidance for this one, no question. I have a thought that I think is maybe a little nuts. I would consider Lawrence at this spot. Believe it or not, I think I would do it here. If McCoy wasn't here and all that, I would consider Chris Johnson here. I think for this team, I think both of those would be in play for me. Obviously, the easy answer I think is probably McCoy.
Sure.
Do we know about the drop? I guess we can't rely on anything during this week. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna take McCoy here.
Trust your staff. Trust your medical staff.
Allen and McCoy would be so good for this Dallas defense to have in tow immediately. But I just wanted the record that I did say that I mentioned Malachi Lawrence at this spot for tomorrow night in case that happens. But I'm going to go McCoy again. I think the press stuff is really good. Transition, I think he has more burst out of the drive, out of his pedal than maybe Delane does. I think the only thing is there are times in off coverage where gets a little early commit to some of the stem work from the receivers, but I think that's easily cleaned up. He's going to a defense that has a coach who has a DB background. That gets me fired up for a pick like this. So yeah, I if I'm Dallas, getting Allen and McCoy, that's pretty good. We will.
Yeah, I think it works well, right? You could have forced the issue, right, a little bit earlier in the draft and said, we have a clear need at corner. He's the next best guy after Delane. Let's do it. Instead, you trade down, you get some draft capital, you get your green dot in the form of Allen, and then, albeit a clean bill of health, you might have the best corner in the class,
Yeah,
right? Assuming he had a clean bill of health, was able
for
to
sure.
perform in 2025, continue to work on his craft. So
Yeah,
I think it's a good start. I think it's a good start. I think obviously edge rush, as you mentioned, is
yeah,
an area that needs to be part of the calculus, but there's quite a bit of depth there, and the
yeah.
fact that you do have that additional draft capital, you can get aggressive if need be.
Yeah, and a lot of types. Like if you want a certain,
Hmm.
like, hey, I want a guy who just fires off the ball and gets up the arc. We can do that. I got an edge setter who can reduce. Maybe we can get that. Like there are, as you said, plenty of options. And Drew, yeah, I think, of course, I think in this class especially, yes, of course you would rather have Micah Parsons at 20 than a lot of these guys that we're going to be talking about in the 20s the rest of the way. But next year might be the time where you go, it's tough not picking right now. Watching some of these guys come off the board, but we'll save that for then.
If you're picking at 32, I think that softens the blow, right?
Yes. Yeah.
If you
Which
were picking at 32, that definitely would soften the
yeah.
blow.
Which
I got
losing
Pittsburgh
yeah, me
here,
too.
and it's becoming chalk for me.
Okay.
At this point, we're Draftmas Eve, but it's chalk for me as it relates to who this pick is typically in mock drafts. I'm gonna go with Omar Cooper Jr.
Okay.
I think he is more physical, plays with more grit. Maybe not the same separator that Kevin Concepcion is, but I think better hands. Perhaps limited to the slot. I like Roman Wilson to play that Z, depending on what happens with Metcalf. But of course, you got Metcalf, Pittman, Wilson, and now Omar Cooper. I think that's a nice complement of receivers. Um, Again, what he does after the catch and how strong he is at the catch point, his body control, ability to stay on his feet. I just think the mentality, that toughness, the willingness to mix it up,
Yeah.
where Concepcion may shy from contact at times, is the reason why I'll go with Cooper here. I think Concepcion's a bit more polished as a route runner, right? As far as separation is concerned, he may be best in class, but I think Cooper fits what they're trying to do there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's the willingness to go and just collide with guys in the run game. It's not like technically sound, but just the fact that he's like, no, yeah, you want me to run into that guy? I'll run into him.
A
Like,
little crash dummy to his game, but I like
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I like
and
it.
I think like
Yeah.
the yards after catch stuff is insane. Like there's a play against Illinois where he is
Oh yeah.
on the fly on the glance route. You can see him adjust his body because he knows the defender's there. Like as the ball's arriving, making that call in that moment. It's not easy stuff to do. I think there are definitely DJ Moore vibes a little bit with him in terms of how he plays, but I think maybe just a bit more willingness to play through every rep and all that. But anyway, Chargers at 22. I mean, this is after last year. They got they had some fun, right? They ate the dessert. They got to go running back receiver in the first 2 rounds. They had some fun with that, and then they were on tackle. I don't know how many, and so that lends me to believe that one of these guys who might be able to kick inside, they might consider, but also de-tackle. They could start this run here, and it wouldn't surprise me either.
They did bring in Dalvin Tomlinson to play the nose, so they can put Jamari Caldwell where he belongs.
Yeah.
But he's longer in the tooth. He's not the same player that he once was. So that wouldn't necessarily move me off of a D tackle.
But I guess if I'm going to listen to myself from earlier saying you get a lot of nose tackles later in the draft, then I think that makes this a little easier. I think he's going to go. Again, he's not my favorite, but this could be a like a Mekhi Becton situation of like the Chargers get him in the building, they get him to play guard, they let him move people around. We're going to go Proctor here for them.
He's such a good athlete at his size, right?
Yeah.
You know, Mike McDaniel is there in Los Angeles now. They're going to play that, that wide outside zone. Given the fact that he's gargantuan, he still moves fairly effectively, and I do think he begins his career playing guard. That's my thought process. Unless unless it's a Philadelphia, and even in
No,
Philly, he might compete
he might.
with
Yeah.
perhaps Tyler Steen at the guard position. So I think he's probably going to start his career at guard, for all intents and purposes, but and then maybe perhaps move out to tackle. Philly, I'm actually going to break tendency. I know there's a pretty much of a groundswell here in terms of Philadelphia going offensive tackle, trying to get things situated moving forward. Lane Johnson, obviously long in the tooth,
Sure.
among others. I was just knocking him, but give me Concepcion. Give me
Okay.
Concepcion. I
Which,
know
yeah, I
AJ
mean,
Brown.
they're moving him. Sounds like pretty much done
Yeah,
deal. They're gonna designate it in the summer. Yeah.
yep, yep. I know they brought in Wicks. There's another name that I'm missing. Of course, they still have the Slim Reaper. Um, I think in terms of timing, again, I mentioned Concepcion from a separation perspective may be best in class,
Yeah. He's
right?
impressive.
And be friendly in terms of presenting those numbers. He does need to clean up the drops. I mentioned he could stand to play with more physicality.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna crowdsource it here in terms of receiving threats, right? If we're moving off of AJ Brown.
Yeah. I think the Concepcion pretty much, if you had a favorite corner in this draft in the SEC, he cooked him. Not really Delane. I think Delane and him had a good battle back and forth. If you're a big Cisse
Sure.
fan, don't watch the Texas A&M
Don't
game.
watch that
I
one.
beg you, don't turn it on. Watch something else. Yeah, I mean the movement skills. He's very, to me at least, I think a little more turbocharged and efficient version of Zay Flowers. And the only thing is, gotta stop clapping at the catch point, man.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have to. You watch
Gotta
Carnell
clean it
Tate
up.
play, and we're coming up at the same time. We're coming up together. We're not doing this. Concepcion's
Yep.
got to get that out of his system. Otherwise, Philly's going to turn on. They're going to turn him
Oh,
immediately.
absolutely.
The fans will turn on you
Uh,
immediately if you drop the ball.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
just got to make sure we clean that up. Okay, this is Tampa Bay. I think is where the Rodriguez conversation comes into play here.
Ooh.
I think they would do that. I think the tricky part with giving them an edge rusher here is that scheme wants these smaller guys, and are they going to take the 0th percentile arm length guy in the first? I just think Mesidor's extremely talented. You got the window, go ahead. Like, you don't maybe not worried about that. He's a one contract. Falk really doesn't do that, like outside track threatening. So if they were going to do that, I would probably go Lawrence for them.
Juice.
Yeah, juice for him.
Yeah.
And then, again, I think Rodriguez is in play here. I think those are really the guys that I'd be looking at. Again, they could go corner. Maybe it's Hood or Johnson. I mean, I would just take Pons if I were them if they want a corner. I don't really care at this point. But let's. I think having this guy in the first is gonna be good. I think it's happening. We're gonna take Malachi Lawrence there, specifically because now the Bears, who have an SD, simply cannot do that, and we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it at all. We're good.
I like the way you do business. I like the way you do business there. Yeah, I think one of the two, Lawrence or Zion Young, will end up in the first round.
It does,
I
yeah.
think
It does seem like Zion Young has a
it's
ton of fans out there.
yeah. It seems like there could be a distinct possibility that one of those two find their way into the first round. I think they'll both be selected in the first 40 picks, assuming teams feel okay with some of the off the field situation with Zion Young. But
For sure.
yeah. I Cassius Howell, I haven't spent a lot of time, listening to the national media because I don't want it to color my opinion of certain players and where
It's
they
a
should
good
be
way to
slotted
do
and
it.
so on and so forth. But I have heard recently that Cassius Howell is pretty firmly in the second round because of one, obviously the arm length, and then two, perhaps not as adept in terms of run defense. But
Yeah.
I watched. I didn't watch how. In fact, it was Headley on Couch Potato General Manager who brought him to my attention during summer scouting, and he broke it down where on fewer snaps he was more productive than Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart, right? And
Yeah.
then he steps into a full-time role here and then makes the most of it. So
Yeah.
I like Cassius Howell.
Had 3 sacks in a row at one point.
Yes, yes, I do like Cassius Howell. And I wouldn't necessarily dismiss it entirely going in the first, but
No, I think and
probably be in
Tampa
the
Bay
top
is a
4
good.
picks.
Tampa Bay is
Yeah.
actually probably the
They want them
spot. If
sawed off a little bit.
yeah,
They want those guys sawed
they
off a
want him.
little
They
bit.
want him. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
get after
Yeah.
it, type of thing. So he could be in
Ball
play.
of fire.
That
Yeah.
Hezzy move, that Hezzy into the bowl that he did against Mount Noah in the playoff game. Oh boy, hello, that type of stuff. That's how you get noticed. To be like, I
He
can do a little
plays
bit more.
with an edge. He plays
Yeah.
with an edge for sure. He gets everything out of those arms. He gets everything out of them. So I like him despite the arm length. We got the Bears, so no
We do
Malachi
have the
Lawrence
Bears.
here. I thought the Bears, the interior of their defensive line was non-existent really season ago. They got, the ghost of Grady Jarrett, frankly.
Yes.
I know he's taken some flack because of some underwhelming testing and size concerns, but I think if you drop Peter Woods into this even man front and let him be a true 3 tech, no 4 eye, no 5, no line up over the center at the nose, no, just let him be a true penetrator. You talked about it, Jake. If you're going interior defensive lineman, prioritize the guys that penetrate, get upfield in this particular class. I think he works well. Now you got Montez Sweat. We can certainly add another player up front at edge. We can get him in day 2 potentially. I like Peter Woods right here to the Bears.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a down year.
For sure.
Question marks about motor, but I think part of it was usage. I wouldn't say all of it. I do think there has to be some culpability, some accountability on behalf of Peter Woods, but I just don't know what Clemson is doing from a scheme perspective, man. On either side of the ball. I have no idea.
There is that. Yes, I agree.
Like
there's certainly problems.
There's no rhyme or reason to what they do on either side of the ball. So I think
I don't know.
I think Peter Woods was kind of going through the motions, honestly, and you can call that into question. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. But I you look at the 2024 version of him, and there's a lot to like. You're talking about a top 10 prospect under those circumstances.
Yeah, I think for me it's just maybe a little bit of the when you watch him make the move this year. I think the way he's moving the feet and doing all of that, I think he kind of like maybe fooled some of us into thinking like, oh, this is the elite of elite athletes type of thing, where he wasn't really doing a whole lot but moving the feet, and it was like, oh my gosh, look how fast he can fire these. And it's like, and he didn't finish as well as he did the year before. But again, it did. Again, some of that's on him for sure, of just not finishing, and there's some through contact stuff that was a little dicey at times, especially against the best teams he played. So I do have a lot more questions, but again, you're in the mid to late 20s here. Much more comfortable with that than saying like still, making a move for him in the top 10 at this point. Like that I would not do. This is, I think you can convince yourself
when the conversation starts.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. The last point I'll make about Woods is that I saw a stark difference between his effectiveness based on the number of snaps he played. He played fewer snaps in 2024. He played significantly more in 2025. I don't know that they had a good quality rotation, and I think he wore down. I think he wore down that time. So we're going to try to get him into a bit of a rotation, keep him fresh, so we can get the best out of him.
Yeah, I do like that a lot better for him. Buffalo Bills 26. I want to be cognizant of your time. If we need to pick up the pace, let me know, right? And we'll make sure we do that in the closing stretch here. But Buffalo, no receivers now. I think for them, I'm not a big Denzel Boston guy. I don't think they should necessarily force the issue here. I know adding DJ Moore doesn't really solve it for me. I've heard this. I'm gonna do this. We're going to go R. Mason Thomas. They need some level of juice. We're chasing juice, and I think that's what some of these teams need to do, right? You're in December. You're in January. Love Greg Rousseau. I think he's firmly in that great archetype of pocket pushers who add a little bit of athletic, juice to them. But go get the guy who can get you some key wins in spots. Yeah. And I think Jim Leonard's going to be big on this, on having a type of player like this. And again, they don't pick till the third. So
Right.
you want to go get a player like this, probably going to have to be now, like a Lawrence,
Yeah.
Howell, something like that.
Oh, good point. Good point
So,
there.
and to someone's question, who is it? Any surprise first rounders, Drew? I don't know if that counts for you. I don't know. But I think he might be surprised for some. I think he's talented enough as a true, like, him and Howell are like really talented players in terms of bring me into rush. Like, we're gonna survive because we are really good DPRs. Like,
Yeah.
that's our role.
I think certainly over the course of 2025, as we got introduced to different prospects and the dynamics changed, you had the emergence of guys like Lawrence and of course Cassius Howe, moving into a full-time role. But early in the process, entering the 2025 season, R. Mason Thomas was squarely in the first round.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's out of left
Yeah.
field by any stretch of the
Guess that's
imagination.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were asking him to play 4I, so it's like reminding me of like Will Anderson. He's not Will Anderson level. He's not Will Anderson level.
No.
But it reminds me of like, hey, he should be playing here, but they're like, we don't have anything else. And I actually think again he held his own, which was surprising for a guy who's like 240. And so yeah, I feel like Buffalo needs to not play it safe. Let's force the issue a little bit here.
Right.
With chasing some ceiling or just chasing impact plays in some capacity. San Fran, tricky spot. There's some O linemen obviously still there. There's some edge rushers. They might have to rebuild that. I know they still have Michael and they have Bosa, so that's all right. But if there's something better, I mean, can absolutely do it.
Michael and Falk remind me of one another.
Yeah. Oh, no, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Michael might get off the ball better, but like that's the same type of, it's the body type, it's the role they're going to play, no question.
Sure. I actually like the name that you just clicked on there. Neil Warren.
I just don't want to give him to Houston. They might be unstoppable if he goes to Houston, man.
Goodness. Listen, Jake, I think that is a beautiful destination.
Oh,
it's a beautiful, like, it is. Never mind that they paid Reed Blankenship. Never mind.
Yeah, not worried. Yeah, not worried one bit. Gosh,
McNeil Warren would be perfect.
So good.
Perfect. Those 5 DBs together.
They'd just be clowning everybody every week. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's not let it happen. Let's go with McNeil Warren.
Okay.
Let's not let it happen.
Oh man. Dangerous stuff in Houston. Almost. I do think he might be in play for Chicago after losing so much. But again, I think the other conversation is like, your Halseys, your Bud Clarks, right? Some of these guys where it's like, we might be able to wait. There's game names I'm missing. You might see Stooks as a safety as well. Like that's another guy who I think sees things well. Kilgore, I think, sees the picture well. So there might be Taff, another one that sees it well. VJ Payne is interesting. Bears might say, we want to, we'll take the first player of this, of this position.
Of that tier. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Houston didn't get. Well, the AI model in the community are right smack dab in where I think I'm going to go with this. Like, I think Basantis is a possibility for them if McDonald's not here.
It's not fair either way. It's not
this
fair.
This still stinks for everybody
it's
involved.
Still pretty unfair.
Because McDonald's pad level's not even good yet, and it doesn't even matter. They still can't move him, so it's just like he's going to a place where it's just that's going to be outrageous for Houston. But yeah, just a brick wall. Can't move him. He's 21, so might be able to unlock something, right? There's a chance. There's still a chance with him and Miller, especially, of like, hey, we might be able to find something here that can justify the swing. What did we do?
Yeah.
Downs.
What did we do?
Right, Downs.
It was
you
Downs.
took Downs.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Downs. Okay. All right. I think certainly want to take a peek at the edges. What's it looking like from an edge perspective? You know what?
They would.
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah, I would. Give me. You know what? Give me Mesidor.
Yeah.
Give me Mesidor.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think. Yeah. They think they're going to be in the window.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
so it probably doesn't.
Absolutely.
It just probably doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think Kansas City, assuming they don't get an edge in the top 10. Seattle, I know Seattle doesn't have very many selections, so they may be looking for a trade partner, but Seattle,
We might
I
do
think, would
that.
certainly be in the conversation as well. Yes,
Yeah.
older player, but the way Mesidor has developed over the last few seasons is really impressive, right?
Yeah.
You know, he was an interior guy, 4-eye. He, not unlike Bain, they get with Jason Taylor. Taylor says, hey, listen, you need to drop about 10, 15 pounds, transform their bodies. So you see
Yeah.
the work ethic. He bends as good as anybody in this class.
It's
And then,
a
of
lot
course,
stuff.
he has some amazing reps reducing down,
Yes.
right? When they decided to play Bain and Mesidor on the same side, move him into 3 technique, because he does have experience born out of necessity, right? In terms of not having enough bodies playing in the interior. You need somebody other than Chris Jones to make a play for you, right? Chris Jones used to be money, right?
Yes.
You need that play to get off the field, to get the stop,
Yeah.
to secure the win. Chris Jones would come up with the batted pass, the hurry, the sack, whatever the case may be. He's not quite the same player. He's not quite the same player. Now you got Mesidor who can do it off the edge, and you can move him around, move him into the interior, reduce down as well. So yeah. In terms of just getting to the quarterback, I think Mesidor probably is my preferred player at this juncture, especially for this particular team.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. They pretty much, at this juncture again, it's just you have 3 picks in the top 40. I think you'd be willing to take that risk, especially later in the first, right? You want to get that Caleb down to the first at 9. Totally understand that. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, they've been trying,
Mesidor,
right?
Mesidor and Jones can rush on the same side.
Yes,
in different spots.
In different spots,
which is
interchangeable.
Nuts. Just man,
interchangeable, right?
What are we doing? Why are we giving the Chiefs this? What are we doing?
Uzama, we'll see what happens year 2 for Ashton Gelati, and they got Omar Norman a lot as well. So you can see if some of those younger guys can take a step. So exactly, Spags, sends a rotation out there. I think Mesidor, he developed the ability to shut the door, and that's what you need, right? Kansas City is going to be in most games.
Yes.
Right. You stabilize that offense. Obviously, you brought in the explosion in the backfield that they were missing. Kenneth Walker. If they could just settle things down in terms of their receiving room, keep Mahomes upright, they're going to have plenty of opportunities to shut the door. And not only do you have to account for Chris Jones, now you have to account for Mesidor as well. I heard recently Max Crosby talking about Mesidor. He said, he's my favorite edge in this class.
Which,
my favorite edge in this class. Because of the way he wins and how he's transformed, it's that workmanship, I think, goes a long way. I think that's going to resonate with Spags and the Chiefs front office.
Yeah, and they're in a decent position. Hey, you got to go get a corner. You got to get a receiver. Day 2, you're going to be in fine position to do that.
You're going to be all right.
Yeah,
you're going to be all right.
Well, the other team that has a second pick at the end of the round here, who took one of the Ohio State guys early, Styles went to Miami at 11. 2 names came up for me here. I think Green Bay South's going to love Chris Johnson, but I think that if you're telling me you can shore up right tackle with Blake Miller right here at an important spot, you're taking that every day. I think he is. Again, the most experience over there, quick, agile, kind of in that build that Green Bay South they're going to like, maybe a little bit taller than what they've usually liked. But to me, it looks there are all these tackles have their warts. I think he looked the cleanest in terms of pass pro, which I think is the most valuable part of this.
Yeah.
So, we're just. I think Green Bay South getting Styles and Miller, I think, would be a home run start for them down there.
Yeah, that one's smart because I wanted to keep him in the division at 31. I did.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, I can't let him go there
a little bit.
Yep, no question.
No
question. Which you could. There maybe is one more guy. You'd have to flip him perhaps, but or you maybe remake it and. You start moving guys around, perhaps. I don't know.
You shuffle the deck, right, with Campbell. Perhaps.
But Patriots, interesting
Perhaps.
spot for them with what's
It
here.
is,
Essentially,
isn't
have
it?
AJ Brown on this team, and I guess they're going to be able to pick here as well. It seems so.
Or are they picking for Philadelphia? I don't
Well,
know.
that's the thing. I don't know if 31's going. Obviously, I think Philly. If I were New England, I'd rather give up 31 than next year's first, to be
Yeah,
honest. But
I agree with
we'll,
you.
we'll
I
see.
agree
Maybe
with you there.
maybe Philly's like holding
Wholeheartedly.
out, and they're like, "No, we don't want 31. We're good. We're fine. We don't like this. We don't like this class." And that's where maybe the standstill
um,
came to be. But
if you go to edge,
yeah,
I like Akis a lot. I think it's maybe a hair too soon, but I do like Akis a lot. You know, I think he falls into kind of that same bucket of okay, what are they doing? Why isn't he being more effective? I've heard a lot about him, but it's just it's kind of underwhelming. I think getting TJ Parker in the right environment.
yeah,
He has
could
all
work.
of the tools already. I think he has a tendency to rely too heavily on the bull rush and the long arm. Needs to develop some counters, some secondary, tertiary pass rush moves. But I think he has all the tools. I think he has all the tools, and you couple that with some decent production as well, despite some of the issues Clemson has had from a
Yeah,
coaching perspective. I'm encouraged by it. He's a young player. I'm encouraged by TJ Parker and what could be on the horizon for him at the NFL level. So can't have enough good pass rushers. Bigger frame too. He can play with his hand in the ground or stand up.
yeah, yeah. I think he, unlike some of maybe these other power rusher guys who are bigger, gets to the long arm, gets to a couple other things with the
Mhm.
hands, maybe more so. And I think slightly better off the ball than some of them. Akis is always like hopping around the line of scrimmage. Don't know why he kid gets set. Like it just seems to be a thing. Zion Young's just not very quick off of it. Falk we know isn't quick off of it. I think Parker's just a little bit better in that avenue. If you're not going to do like maybe the crazy thing of like, hey, we got a lot out of Chase on and all that. We could take Howell. Like that's
Mm,
the bigger, stronger guy to go push the pocket. I mean, you look down this list, that's probably the direction that I would go as well if you're looking for that type. Like that's
right.
yeah, see what you can do there. Do we want to make a quick trade? I know we're we're pushing late here. But I think Arizona probably wants this fifth
Mm,
year, and I think
okay. You're
Seattle
gonna
would
grab the
just like
QB.
another extra pick. Yeah, Seattle might
Okay.
just like a little something extra. Maybe not
I could
104.
see a scenario where the Cardinals just punt.
They could.
I could see a
They
scenario
could.
where Simpson
Would we
slides a
rather do
bit.
that? Should we do that instead?
No, no, no. I'm not
You sure?
suggesting that you
Because I
shouldn't.
know. I mean, I know the Seattle pick. If we do, do we want to just do that? Let's do that.
Yeah,
Let's.
let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
This is Chris Johnson then. No question. This is Chris Johnson for Seattle. I would love nothing more than to go Ponds here, but thinking
Mm,
about like the guys they have right now of like they're kind of, I mean, Witherspoon moonlights in the slot, but he's not the biggest guy out there at 180 and change.
hmm.
Like maybe you just go get the guy who I think maybe not athletically to the level of a Pons or maybe even a Cisse like in terms of fluidity, but I think he's a
Sure.
smart player. I think he's good enough athletically. I think he checks all of those kind of boxes of like I'm good here across the board in all of the facets, even the transition game, which I think can maybe be a little spotty, but I think it's because he opens because he's kind of afraid of getting beat down the field a little bit at times, but the tackling's good. That I think is McDonald's going to want that. Like he's going to want guys who want to be a part of the tackling thing. I don't know if this guy really is. He kind of like the approach to contact is a little strange, and there are some avoidance stuff that I'm not entirely thrilled with when I watch. So I think we're going to go Chris Johnson for Seattle, and I think that's again, it's not maybe one of the edge rushers that could keep that front, going crazy, but it's not great news for the rest of the league to get a player like Johnson there.
No, no, it's not. And I think if Chris Johnson, if some of that physicality that Mike McDaniel's defense kind of embodies, rubs off on him, I think he's going to be phenomenal.
Another
I think in every
secondary
other
that's
regard,
just, my gosh,
yes,
just help,
yes.
help.
In every other regard, this allows you to continue to play Spoon, in the nickel and the slot. Let him do his thing there. I just want to see Chris Johnson actually challenge and disrupt the receivers.
Yeah,
at the line of scrimmage, he likes the off man mirror and match, and I think with his fluidity, his
got the build
ball
for it for sure.
skills,
Yeah,
and of course the frame for it,
yeah,
he could take his game to another plateau, being a little bit more physical. He's an excellent player, though. No question about it.
Well, let me know
I'm
about the time
gonna,
constraints. Are we good? We good to get the second round done if we keep
I
pace
think
up a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, we can pick up
Cool.
the pace, but
Cool.
certainly we can get this in.
Just want to make sure. I know you set a time range, and I want to just make sure we check in before. Okay, cool.
The kids keep me, regimented.
Sure.
They absolutely keep me regimented. I think Aaron Glenn is going to fall in love with D'Angelo Ponce.
Yeah, I was thinking of yeah. I think you're right. Man, Reese, Lemon, and Ponce. Are the Jets back? Are they back? Man,
let's just draft good football players.
Yep. It's just, hey, New York, let us come in. We're free. We'll come in. We'll let you know.
I won't go as far to say it's free.
Little consulting
but
fee,
certainly,
maybe?
but certainly, we're going to be far less expensive than your current options.
Yeah,
far less expensive.
Yeah, just a little fee. We'll get there in no time. You just let us know. But yeah, they got a lot to do in this first 50 picks, and it's going to be difficult to start better than that for them. Arizona, we went Noah. So that kind of still opens the pass rush door up for us here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I love it?
Yeah, I sawed off. You like him sawed off in this particular scheme?
Man, yeah. Can we get away with it enough? Man, he's so dang good. Just
he is good.
Let him do what he does.
Let him do
I think we're going to do that.
What they need.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that because I don't know. I mean, maybe you could convince me here of like find a best 5 solution with someone like Loam on your line. But we took care of, oh no, we didn't. I keep thinking, no, we did. We got Mount Noah. Gosh dang, I keep thinking that's Bain at 3. And it's losing my mind. Oh man, it's not Bain. No, it's not Bain at 3. It was Mount Noah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's go. Let's take Howell. I just think the talent as a pass rusher is just, I think, overwhelmingly better than the others available at this point in time, at the very least. And so, yeah, hey, they got to battle in the playoff. You'll get to battle in training camp as well. Have some fun.
There you
Those
go.
two, Mauano and Howell. This was Bailey, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So David Bailey was the Titans pick in round 1. I mean, the help Cam Ward situation could benefit potentially after that contract didn't go super well, but still other options. So no, we are officially punting at QB for Arizona. And the rest of the league is now going to play chicken in the second round of who's actually going to take Ty Simpson. I have an idea. I don't remember if I have them or not, but we'll get there when we get there. So,
yeah, I believe in. We went with David Bailey in the first, right? That was the Salah special, right?
Yep.
I think I'm going to stay along the line of scrimmage here and go with Caleb Lomo.
I think
you got Latham already in place. Skaranci at the guard position. We're just trying to round out this thing. We're trying to actually field a NFL caliber offensive line in front of Cam Ward at this point. I think you can certainly make the argument to go with a receiver, whether it be Boston, more of a power slot, or Chris Bell, if you really want some juice.
That would
feel good about him coming off of that injury. You're looking for an X. Maybe Chris Bell under those circumstances, but I think I'm going to do the boring, responsible thing here and add Caleb Lomu.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. If you did, if you didn't, I probably would have for these guys here because they need it too. Vegas, we know what they did at 1. They've done what we've known for a long time. I actually think I'm gonna. I think that I'm trying to remember if they don't, if they have a lot of. I know they have Linderbaum. JPJ is probably gonna play right guard. I would imagine
They got a guard issue. They do have a guard
And
issue,
so
but I will preface what you're because this was my original thought process. This is one of the few teams I did a 7-round mock draft for, and
Okay.
the Raiders fans they're not against the idea of guard because I'm very much like, okay, you got the rookie running back, you got the rookie quarterback. Let's just finish it up, right? Let's just button it up.
Yeah.
They would prefer to address it a little bit later, and this is just for the audience. This is not necessarily to color your opinion of the selection. They feel the need at nose is bigger. They feel like they don't have someone up front. There are a pair of spots at the safety position that they need to address as well. Again, maybe not quite at 36, but there was a prevailing thought that if Boston's available, go get Boston. I know you're not perhaps as big on Boston. Otherwise, give me the Kristen Miller, Lee Hunter type, right? Guys who are noses but have a little bit of pass rush in them as well. They offer a little bit of something there as well. But yeah, I was all over Pregnon personally. I was all over it. In that scheme. Yeah, I was all over Pregnon. Honestly,
interesting. Yeah. I think. Wait a minute. Did we? Yeah, we did. Okay, so they're not going to pick him at. Yeah, I think let's get Miller. I think that's a good shout. I think it'd be just hilarious if they went Surratt at 36 and said, "Hey, we're just running it back, man. I don't know. We don't have to mess around. Like we saw how well this worked." They might be able to get him at what is it, 67, 66? 60. I think it might be 67. That might still be possible actually, because I think there's like maybe a level of like athleticism that teams don't quite see from him relative to others. So it might still be in play for them there. Let's go get Christian Miller. I like that. Houston was going to be my spot for them, and then I forgot we took K-Mac at 28. So they're not going to do both. I mean, maybe not, but I think this is a good spot for Miller. He's reuniting with some. Well, I guess he didn't really play with them necessarily, but Georgia Bulldog Central down there in Vegas with Dean and Walker. So
there you go.
We'll do that. Yeah, I like that. I still think guard could be in play, but I do think there's probably more. Like if you're looking for more impact players right off the bat, like I think there are just more at guard than there are at D tackle at this point. Like I think you're going to be kind of chasing like rotational stuff early for most of these guys. So
love what we managed to do with those first 2 Giants selections.
Yeah, for those who don't know, if they're joining now or hadn't quite seen the Giants picks, it's Jeremiah Love and Venga Ioane. Man, I think in the realm of possibility tomorrow night. I don't think that's out of the question.
I think so.
It might be. It could be Tyson and Ioane, but I do think like 2 offensive players. I don't think is out of the question for them at this point.
Yeah. There's a part of me that wants to go with Caleb Banks.
I mean,
there really is.
That's understandable.
With Big Dex now in Cincinnati, Banks still on the board. You know, the upside, obviously injury concerns, but the upside is really intriguing. Of course, they have a need at corner as well. I know they brought in Newsome to kind of blunt that need a little bit. There's some good names on the board here.
There are.
Let's go with give me Hood. Give me Colton Hood out of Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought about going receiver just to finish it off, just to really just drive it home in terms of the offensive onslaught here. But I do have this feeling, the feeling that we're going to have a bit of a run at the corner position. So let me grab Colton Hood here.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, dart to Boston way downfield, not the worst thing in the world that you could toss out there. But yeah, I think there's I think Hood is maybe not as finished a product, right, as some of these guys at the top, but I
Hmm.
think everything tools wise, movement skills, athleticism, all of that is there. We just need to, whatever. What do we got scheme wise? In
I just love how patient he is
Yeah, he
in his
can.
back pedal. I love how patient he is, and it allows him, it gives him an opportunity to remain in phase. Not, he's not guessing out there. His
Right.
eyes are on that inside hip.
There are some
He's playing the position the way
who
he's
do.
supposed to be playing it,
So
right?
yeah,
So
I agree. Yeah,
yeah.
I think there are guys out there who are guessing, and it shows. And
Hmm.
yeah, he's definitely not one of them. Very less concerned about the Tennessee guys relative to the rest. It's in a good position. Well, Houston, this works out really nicely because I was considering guards for them at 28,
There you go.
and we have not taken any since
No.
28. So I'm gonna lean for this. I think you could convince me of Pregnon. I think that's a fair shout. I think just when I'm looking at what Houston has struggled with, it's like legitimately everything pass pro wise of like
Mm.
we just
Hmm.
communication, everything was off. I think Pregnon and pass pro is a little bit weaker right now just because I think the base gets wide sometimes and then he struggles to
Sure.
change direction. And so we're doing a little bit. I think Basantis is a little cleaner in that regard. But I
Right.
agree with you. If we're going wide zone, if we're getting guys on the move, absolutely give me Pregnon because I think he's going to be more beneficial. But I think for Houston right now, we just have to be steady in some
Yeah.
capacity
Pass pro
protecting
needs to be buttoned
Stroud. We
up.
can't keep doing what we're doing. It has to be
No, I hear you
addressed.
loud and clear.
So
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. What have we done with Cleveland thus
we
far?
have the Arizona State boys, Tyson and
There we go.
Ionichor. So
Tyson and on a chore.
I
Okay.
mean, actually, we could we could do three. That's not out of the question, right? With Abby
Yeah,
still available,
I think there's a
but
need there. I do think
yeah,
there's a need there at the nickel in particular. Um, ooh, that would be an
would they
embarrassment of
dare?
riches. No, I don't think you can do it. I don't-
I think we've been too smart with them so far. We we need to throw in some
Right,
true
right.
craziness for Cleveland's
Really,
drafts. But
really mix it up.
jeez,
They can benefit from going back to the offensive line. They can absolutely benefit
probably,
from going back to the offensive line.
yeah. They gave
You know
Zion
what?
that They gave Zion
Hmm.
Johnson that contract. Man, I loved him coming out Boston College.
So did I.
And it's
So did
just
I.
I don't know if like they could be out of that contract next year, like easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
I get it. I get it
You know
to
what?
go that
I'm
direction.
gonna stop the Keldrick Fox slide here.
Okay. I think that also makes sense. That younger player, Barry seems to
Hmm.
want to stay in that realm for sure. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's gonna give you, quality
it's
snaps on early downs against the run. I think at this juncture for him to actually be able to affect the passer, you're probably gonna have to reduce him down.
yeah.
But playing opposite Miles Garrett, you're going to get plenty of opportunities one on one. They got
Yep.
Mason Graham up front, so a young player with I think a little bit more to unlock. I don't think he's ever going to be
Sure.
this explosive, first step quickness guy. I just don't think that's in his game.
Yeah.
But the length, the strength to hold up at the point of attack, set a physical edge, and then of course the motor. I think he has a really good motor. He gets after it. At this point, I'm willing to roll the dice here on Keldrick Fogg. Bit of a slide there. I see they have him at 19.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this I think this is just consensus board. Which again, I think consensus board. They're
Hmm.
building off of the mocks. They're telling like we keep getting told that Falk's going in the first, and
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like either of us are there in
No.
terms of wanting to pick him
No.
there. But I think this is a much more comfortable spot.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. What do we got? Mesidor and Downs. Those were our two for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's right. Well,
So it's corner
yeah,
and
I guess
receiver,
corner
right?
is possible. Yeah, corner and receiver. I think they might make the Chris Bell swing.
Ooh, I like it.
I think they might do that.
I like it.
I think we're gonna do that for these guys. I think he has one of the wilder catches of the year. The pit game,
Mm-hmm.
he like tips it
Mm-hmm.
up to himself. That was sick. But like ultimately, again, it's speed through the catch point. It's no wasted movement.
Oh yeah.
When the ball arrives, we're moving. He's making guys like Keontae Scott missing space, who is usually, pretty reliable in that sense.
Just pulling away from guys.
Yeah.
Destroying angles and pulling away from guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know that Kansas City will engage Rashee Rice with all his antics long term. I think you can plug him in right there. I mean, obviously he can win out wide, but
For sure.
given what they've done with Rashee Rice in terms of really leveraging his explosiveness after the catch, I think Bill can certainly fill a similar role there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, finally, Cincinnati Bengals. Great first round pick for them. Great first round pick. No notes. They needed that for sure, especially if they believe themselves to be in the window of contending when everyone's healthy. So
sure. Yeah. What do we have at guard? A guard has been a
still
sore
have
spot.
We still have some options. They got a few options here. Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely could still take a linebacker, even though they've tried to address it.
They've invested there heavily, right?
But they just don't. I just don't think they have a great handle with their 3 guys in the scouting staff to be able to get to all these players. Where it's just like, but I think this is much more sensible, no question.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to just address the offensive line. Let's just put that to bed with Pregnon.
Yeah.
Albeit the one caveat would be the slot demon, Keontae Scott.
Ooh.
Just his tenacity. And
just
feel.
a true. I will make your life terrible near the line of scrimmage. You're not going to have fun with me there.
Yes.
I think the coverage
Miami
stuff is a little shaky at times, but man, when they get them going forward, which I think is again good defensive coordinators are going to be like, this is
you want to augment those young linebackers. You can do so with Keontae Scott in the nickel.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a possibility here.
But,
I'm gonna lean on the principles of protecting the franchise.
Yeah,
give me Pregnon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That puts us to the Saints, who, we gave them Delane.
Mm-hmm.
And so edge receiver may be a possibility. Edge has some names.
Some good names there for sure.
Going to be comfortable with the Zion Young off field. I don't know who is and who isn't. But he's bigger. It lets you commit to, because Brandon Staley's there, right? So it's more bodies to coverage. Probably be a little bigger up front. Have your ace pass rushers in there. Yeah. I think we're comfortable doing that. Let's go Zion Young here for the Saints.
Okay.
Dolphins have been cooking so far. They've got Sonny Styles and they got Blake Miller. Terrell is still here. I know he's not the biggest guy. They don't always like the small guys, but could be a Jaden Reed situation of like, hey, we can't get enough.
That's the pick. That's the pick. I think Terrell's a good player. You obviously would want him to be a bit more physical, but I think he's a good player. Got a lot of experience as well.
Going to a great teacher at the DB position in Hafley, which maybe you get some of that ironed out. I don't know. Do you think he can play the nickel?
No.
Because I don't think he's quick enough to
I don't want him playing the nickel.
I want him to see all the picture. I just want him to see the picture from the boundary, which I think is going to be exactly what they're doing down there. So, I think, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man. Is it time? Is it time? Are we going to do it? We got Pons, Reese, and Lemon. Oh, or we could just do this. which I
Yeah.
like a little better anyway.
Yeah.
They don't have a
I'm with
safety
you.
yet, but I'm not.
They
Not
they
like
brought in
not.
Minka.
They did
They
bring. Oh,
re-up
that's
with
right. They do have.
Cisco.
Okay, so
They
they're
re-up with
they're not bad
Cisco.
there.
So they put themselves in a position that they don't have to force the issue.
Oh my gosh!
So
Forgot
Jake,
he's still
I
here. What if
I
we?
I did in that 5 round mock draft. I took reset 2, and I came back with Galde.
Oh, I think
So
you know
I'm not
what.
opposed to
You
this.
know
I think
what?
this is
Yeah,
actually a
no,
good
I
idea.
think actually, wow, I forgot he was still here. I forgot we didn't pick him. Um, yeah. Let's make Reese the full-time edge. I go back on everything
Make
I
it the
said.
full-time man.
I guess I'm going back on everything I said earlier because Rodriguez is still here at 44,
Wow.
and we get a defense that has Reese, Ponce, and Rodriguez on it. Sounds good to me. Yeah. Got to. Got to. Just to make it that much harder to figure out what Green Bay is going to do. Because I think even though they've got guys there, it'd be tough to pass. So Baltimore, we went Fano in the first.
I think I
Man.
want to. Oh yeah,
Man.
yeah, yeah. Give me Banks.
Tough not to.
I was thinking Akis, but give
Oh
me
yeah,
Banks.
that's fair.
Yeah,
They did at least they got somebody in
Mm.
Hendrickson at least.
They did.
That
They did.
that they got something there, but man,
They
yeah,
did.
this
And
is
I think they have a good battery of picks too. So I think they'll be able to add another edge
yeah,
rusher. But yeah, with Banks sliding a bit here, I think it's time to put that to an end.
yeah.
Immense talent.
Yeah,
Immense
that's
talent. I remember when it was Banks, Tyreek Sapp was thought to be a guy at the time, and then Princely. And
okay.
the focus was on Sapp and Prince, and I'm like, who is number 88? Who is that?
Sorry. Yeah. Who's this guy who looks like, I don't know, like Shaq or somebody who can just like cross face? Excuse me?
Right. Exactly.
Excuse me? Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Tyreek who? What are we even talking about right now?
It's insane. Yeah. Baltimore would I do think Baltimore would absolutely swing here, especially because Madubuike coming back. What's the
not
deal?
sure what kind of player
I know he had a
he's gonna be.
procedure recently, and he sounds like he's ready to go, but you never know, and you get some pass rush on the interior on top of it. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Tampa Bay, I might give them someone like Trotter, but you lose Mike Evans. Maybe just go get a ball winner. And I think
I don't hate it.
I think we might do that. Are we going to get him off the board anywhere? In the next several picks? Maybe. No, I changed my mind. I think I changed my mind. I think getting someone like Trotter for them is going to help the linebacker room. I think they definitely need some of that. So yeah, we're going to do that. They took Lawrence in the first after trading down, but
What are your thoughts on Anthony Hill Jr.?
I think he is a tremendous run and chase player, movement skills, change of direction. The coverage stuff is good. My worry is all the contact stuff coming downhill. It's a little shaky. I think he struggles to get off of it. I think there's some tackling where the technique and approach to the contact isn't as great. And when you're 238, 239, I'm like more of, can you do multiple things for me? Or are you just going to be a coverage guy? And that's maybe where I would maybe have him just a little bit lower than some of these guys where I think Trotter wants to be a part of it. No question. I still think he's in this range though. I still think he's in this range, but that's probably maybe the difference. And then the reason I'm leaving Golday still out there is we got to make that transition. We've been playing you as an overhang backer. You're way too big for that, buddy. I think we got to make him into, a Mike almost. Like at that size, I feel like we got to be coming downhill. And I think there's some times where it looks good and sometimes where it's like, when he's rolling into the box, it's clearly like, okay, we got to get better. So, but I'm not anti Anthony Hill per se. I think he might be in play at 52. We'll see, but we'll see. I think I know what to do at 52 now. And it might be insane. It might be insane.
All right.
But
what does the full battery of players look like right now?
Indy, this is weird for them. They trade Pittman, got Pierce long term.
I think.
Do they want another big?
Give me Lee Hunter.
Yeah,
Give me Lee Hunter.
Another decent option. Yep.
Yeah. Put him up there with DeForest and Latu and company.
Yeah.
And then we'll get that backer eventually.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, he's like a similar player in many facets, but I think you can give London all of the underneath intermediates and let Boston win down the field for you. And I think that's what we'll do here. We'll just capitalize on at least a consensus, a little bit of value with Boston there.
Okay. I'll take Jeremy Bernard here.
Okay.
Addison.
Yeah, no D tackles left. I guess
Yeah.
Thought about that. Well, we went. Oh, Thieneman. Yeah, of course. Duh. Oh, the Shanahan whisper, a wide receiver, basically. Get me into that scheme and block, and yeah.
Yeah, I really like the way Bernard played this season. Right, he's one of those guys who can play all the receiving positions as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that presents kind of some unique value. But he seems ready to go. Drop him in, and he'll take to the playbook very quickly. Dependable receiver, knows how to get open, and that's kind of the name of the game. We want someone we can depend on, right? Naylor goes to Vegas via free agency. Not sure what's going on with Addison at times. Tight end is also a question mark, but I like Bernard. Sure. I like his workmanship.
Yeah, I like that. And he's entering a space that he's not going to be uncomfortable, not going to be asked to do as a ton of things. And I think the important thing for Bernard 100% is like you're not coming into the room, even to me at least, expecting to be this like high level immediate number two, do a lot of things. It's like, no, we need some short intermediate buckets. We need you to win a fade ball every once in a while. Need you to block. Right. I'm not into giving him the gadget stuff. I'm not sure why Bama was doing that. They could have just let Ryan Williams do that, but it is what it is. But yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Detroit, we're gonna go Akis here.
I love it.
Bigger edge. I think they're gonna.
I love Akis, like man. He's so violent.
Yeah. If any,
so violent.
One of my favorite things is that because like I don't remember doing it initially because I watched Akis long before pretty much everyone else. Just like, all right, let's watch the Illinois guy. And then I circle back and I get to Tiernan and I'm like, all right, let's watch some Tiernan. All right. Okay, Illinois, let's go here. Oh no, this is I feel so bad. The Akis was just, oh my gosh. Just said, no, thank you. I'm sending you to the third round, buddy. We're out of here. Like, geez Louise. Just get him set. We need to give him something. I don't know what we have to do before the snap. Oh, we didn't mention this either. Did you notice this with McNeil Warren? He's grabbing the mouthpiece all time. All time. Don't know what that's about. Yeah. Forgot to include that. I will include that tomorrow for the people who are coming back to watch. But that's everywhere. I don't know why he does that. But yeah, this one, no. We're not going to do Halsey. I got something much more sinister in mind than that.
Much more sinister.
Oh man, but yeah, Akis. I think Detroit will like that the way he plays, and just got to make him less antsy at the snap. Just got to figure something out there.
Right. It is. I don't even think Akis plays with gloves. Like he's one of those types.
Yeah. That fits perfectly. Yep.
Right.
Let's get you a full bit here. What's Sadiq? They could be in linebacker too. Oh, no, they signed Lloyd. Yeah. That's right.
They did sign Lloyd, but I'm not sold on Trevor Wallace. Yeah, I'm not sold on Trevor Wallace necessarily.
Also, everybody's been talking about like Falk for them. They have Phillips.
Yeah.
They have Phillips.
Falk?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
At 19.
No. Unless you're gonna play Falk at the 5.
Maybe. But like I forgot they have
maybe
Phillips
under those circumstances.
They have Phillips, that's right. Yeah. Not sure. I don't know. I think they're fine.
Phillips netting about $30 million a year. So
yeah. And 15 or so for
Yeah. I want some competition next to Devin Lloyd. Give me Anthony Hill Jr.
Okay. I think that that complements really nicely. Lloyd can do more of the dirty work stuff, but even so, when you've got both of those guys dropping, have fun. You gotta
Yeah.
you better be
Yeah. Those
on
those
time.
windows,
Yeah,
those
they're gonna
windows
be
are going to
shutting.
close very quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, the time has come. Juice, I'll ask you first. What's the direction you'd think about going for these guys? I think there's like a probably if this falls like this, I think there's two consensus selections. But again, I'm interested. I know what
You
you gave
thinking,
them. I know what you gave them because I remember this now. I watched it.
yeah. Yeah.
That's one of
Yeah.
the two I think consensus directions
Yeah.
if it falls in this way to them.
I think with Cisse and Igmanosin, there's certainly a conversation to be had there.
Yeah.
I do like Dunker. I do like Dunker landing
That's
here with Green Bay. I think in this particular circumstance, if you go to edge, I wouldn't rule out Derek Moore, man.
okay.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
rule him out.
He's a bit bigger,
Hmm.
run through the face type of guy.
Yeah,
They're gonna love
he's
they're gonna
going through
love
your
Sutton.
face.
Yeah.
He's going
They're
through your face.
they're gonna love
You
Dennis
think
Sutton
they're
here.
partial to Sutton?
I
Yeah,
think they just the way they operate.
yeah.
Yes. I think those are in play. I personally cannot get there here. I feel like he is just getting just outclassed pretty much every matchup, which isn't like ideal for me. At least to me, Igbinosin wants to fight up there and wants to be a part of the run stuff. And I don't think Cease is a bad tackler, but I think Igbinosin wants to mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go any of those directions. Even though I do think like if this scenario happens, I think Dunker probably is the guy. Rutledge is still being here. Definitely would be in play. Let's go Caleb Proctor.
Oh wow.
Yep. Caleb
Oh
Proctor.
wow.
Yep. We're taking Caleb Proctor right there.
You
I've
weren't
just
kidding.
the
You
upfield
weren't
burst.
kidding about getting upfield. You weren't kidding.
That's a little foreshadowing for people who've stayed this long when we talked about this. I think you have to take him here if you want him, Green Bay. From what I've been told, I don't get told much. I rarely get told anything. Nobody tells me anything.
Nobody tells
In
you.
this instance, 84 might not be enough, is what it sounds
Wow.
like. And I get it. I understand it. Like you're chasing him and Halton. Look at this. Look at this. People are on board. That's not as
They are on
fun.
board.
I
They
mean,
are
there
on
is like
board.
a worst case scenario, which is none of that to me. It's the fact that they actually take the running back here that they've met with a bunch at 52, and I might call it a night if that happens. You guys have to be kidding. You guys, that last year it was loaded. You'd have to take Savion in the third. You could have Scatterball your team, and you didn't want to do that. Or like Bashal Tootin, same thing. Like I know he fumbles,
Right.
but like he's exactly the complement. So yeah, I think they might do this genuinely.
I know
I think
some,
it's in the
some folks
realm
in
of
the
possibility.
comments. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't see that one coming. I didn't see that one
Okay.
coming.
All right.
There's
Love
there's
that.
some folks in the comments that are very much out on Igmanosin, and I understand why. I do understand why. I think Igmanosin literally has all the tools. He's got all of them.
Yeah.
He looks the part, prototypical boundary corner. He looks the part. It's at the moment of truth. He just gets grabby. He panics. He loses the football. He doesn't look for the ball. That's something generally that you don't develop. It's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
At times, you know what I'm saying. So I get why folks are out on Igmanosin. But for that, and it's critical. It is critical. That's why you get all of the penalties. That's where you get all of the yellow laundry on the turf, right?
Yeah.
But I think he has the physical tools, but
He
it's
does. It's
just that part of it is what turned folks off, and I completely understand why. I think this
Yeah.
is now the Ty Simpson pick. This is the Tyson
Yeah, this is.
scenario.
I didn't know if I had them or you had them, but this was
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I
Yeah.
think it has to be at this point. Like, I think, I mean, underrated. Like, they definitely need probably another guard, but
Yes.
yeah, I mean, at this
Yes.
point, we don't know anything. The Pittsburgh fans are going through what Packers fans had to go through, and the last couple of years, like, hey, are you playing, or what are we doing?
Right.
So
What are we
I don't
doing
think they
here?
can. Yeah, I don't think they can sit around and wait for that. Okay. So what happened? Oh, it was Concepcion. That's right, for Philly. Okay. Fascinating. Well, if we're gonna go on, I think we have to start. I think we have to start the conversation with Proctor. I really do. I think New England's at 63 might be the team, unfortunately. But Philly here is tricky. We've got the receiver in tow, which is good. I don't have to try to talk myself into, like, Surratt would probably be fine here. I don't think I'd have too many qualms. Like, Brazel at his best, we could have that conversation for sure. But
Sure.
I mean, I just don't think they're gonna take a gift and let it wash away. Assuming of course that they are getting Grenard, but if they're not, let's go Derek Moore. I think
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. We can't stake everything on the fact that they're probably getting Grenard, but they might not look the gift of Rutledge. Which speaking of Rutledge,
Yeah. That's
goodness
exactly
sakes,
where I was
Proctor
going next.
and Rutledge.
It was
Wow.
gonna be
Wow, that's something.
it was gonna be
Hey,
Moore or Rutledge.
Okay.
I think they are in a position where they can take two guards, right? Based
Yeah.
on what they currently have on their roster. Coldstream is
Yeah.
a 1 year deal, I believe, or maybe two. Very very inexpensive deal, as well as what's his name? Played for the Saints previously.
Penning.
Trevor Penning. I I
Yeah.
I very much would consider going back to guard here. What do we have up front on the down line? Defensive line, I'm sorry.
Um,
Big Citrus.
Joseph Sutton.
Mm,
Me.
Halton, that's my
Are
guy.
they
I
gonna?
just don't like my
Are
odds in
the?
the front.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Are they also gonna be? They Since Harbaugh's there and they want like the big bigs. Are they gonna want the
Mhm.
290? Soaking wet. D tackle.
Um, would that be overkill at this point? I don't care. Let's go.
I don't think
Let's
after
do it.
what happened last year. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure
I
how.
mean, it happens every year. It
Well,
happens
that's
every
the
year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then I mean, at least one of them, you think maybe he can play tackle, right? Like you at least have that fallback of like, we could potentially
Sure.
do this. Maybe he's playing the right
Sure.
side, right? Slater gets hurt again, and it's like,
Mm.
where you're. Hey, you're going over
There
there,
you go.
buddy. Like, and then
Right.
we just kind of figure this out. Like, I just think, yeah, I think it's a nice little gift because I think Rutledge probably has gone by 40.
Probably.
And I
Yeah.
think it's going to be if none of them go, it's going to be Basantis, Pregnon, Rutledge, bam, bam, bam to start day two. And if this is a nice little treat for
House money.
the Chargers. Okay, this one
It's an interesting one.
we're in on right here. Sounds like they want to move up for this guy. Do I think they should move up for this guy? Probably not. But we're gonna go Jadarian Price. It sounds like there is some rumblings about that from Jacksonville, which hurts me as somebody who has spatial Tootin. In a lot of places in dynasty leagues, it was ready to capitalize this year, but it sounds like they might get that done. Ooh, couple of Bears picks now. Get to have some fun. Peter Woods was the first pick for Chicago.
I'll go Halsey here.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the epitome of processing and cognitive skill set over athleticism all day.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
not to say that he's a bad athlete. It's just,
No,
we're not in the like Thieneman range
that's not where he's going to make his money.
no.
Correct.
But again, in this type of scheme, like if you want him to be the brisker replacement, I mean, sounds pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah,
I
don't think there's a better robber in this class. Coming forward, I'm not sure there's a better robber in the middle of the field.
Yeah, because I don't think like McNeil Warren, I don't think sees things quick enough just yet. I think we're getting there. Yeah, Thieneman's just better off back there. Downs is just kind of the enforcer. I think you're right. I don't trying to even go through players at this point who I would. Yeah, no, I agree. I like it. San Francisco was, speaking of McNeil Warren.
I'm sure they would have liked
They would have
Reynolds
liked
there.
They would have liked Rutledge.
Rutledge, excuse me.
Yeah,
Rutledge.
they would definitely have liked that. No question.
Brazel?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Not out of the realm of possibility there in terms of stretching the field. They definitely need receiver. Oh, you know what? Let's go Ted Hurst. Let's go Ted Hurst. I think he's going to go around this area.
Okay.
I'm going to go Hurst. I think I trust Hurst a little more with the Shanahan in breaking stuff than Brazel. I think that might be the difference, and I think he's just a better athlete than Surratt for some of that stuff too, to rip through, and we can win the ball. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Hurst. Houston probably would have been.
What have we done with Houston thus far?
We have done, I think, McDonald and Basantis.
Basantis.
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Eat vegetables. It's about time. After last year taking every Iowa State receiver that was breathing in the draft, pretty much. So,
what's it looking like at corner?
I mean, I think. Oh no. Oh man. Oh, I'm sure he would love him. There's no question. D'Amico would love that player, no question. It's just, is there a redundancy? Do you feel like you move someone? Even do you move Keontae Scott to play safety? Do you let Petrie do it?
Oh, you know what I'm going to do?
Do you just take him and make it the DC's problem and say, you know what, I'm not in that room. You you take care of that.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the defensive line here. This is gluttony at this point. Give me Grayson Halton.
Oh my gosh! As soon as you said D line, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Since we didn't give him Emmanuel McNeil Warren, because that seems ridiculous. Man. Seems ridiculous to have those 5 players in the secondary at the same time. But yeah, I'm gonna go Halton.
Oh no! Oh no! We may have fixed the Texans in a big way, and really made the people in the division just standing there like, man, what do we do?
What do we do?
Cam Ward is just beside himself. He's like, they can't protect me from this. Oh man, that's crazy. I mean, they're probably gonna do something silly. They're probably gonna take a running back. Like, why would Jacksonville want to move up? You know, why would they want to move up? Who's doing it? Houston, Minnesota, probably. And so, you know, but we can look back on this in a couple of years and go, well, we did this, and look how good this was. Look how good this would have been if you guys did that. Okay, I am gonna do something that's. Well, no, I don't think everybody likes this guy. I don't think with the Allen right. This is like a Dennis Allen like defense. They're going to want the bigs. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go
in the ground.
Dennis Sutton. I would really be upset if they got Barham. But I don't think that's who they want for the scheme. So we're going to go Dennis Sutton. Yeah, Barham's another one of the my guys. The people in the comments know.
Gotcha.
He's a psycho. in the best
Yeah,
way. In the best
I
way.
like him quite a bit as well.
He is a psycho.
Number one pops, for
Reese
sure.
Light, Reese Light,
Yeah,
perhaps. I
yeah,
mean, kind of
yeah.
have the similar
And he's found his
struggles.
home. He's found his
Yeah.
home at Edge.
Oh man, if you guys haven't watched 2024 USC Michigan, I just beg you to go watch that game. The first two series, he is just knocking everybody on that offense from USC over. Basically, it's kind of hilarious. You could make that one of those edits at a bowling alley. Like you get a strike
The
and it's
fans
Barham just knocking over every USC player. Like you could definitely do that if you wanted to.
Oh,
All right, home
man.
stretch. We got a few picks left.
What have we done with Cleveland to this point?
We have done. Oh, was the third pick? Was he? No, Falk. So it was Falk,
Okay.
Giannichor, and Tyson.
And Tyson.
And this is from the Rams. So in that move up to go get Carnell Tate. So a nice final swing for them. At least in this
Abney
mock.
makes sense that there is a need at the nickel as this Keontae
Yeah.
Scott.
21.
but-
Wow.
Yeah. Ooh.
It certainly comes into play for them. It seems a lot more. It surprises me. I was like, I thought the Packers liked to, draft the 20, 21-year-olds in the first round, and these guys just consistently do it. It's crazy. But I mean, this is our mock draft. That's
a slot demon.
that's the real killer.
The
out
slot
there.
demon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you,
man.
Joseph and Ayers, for chilling. Appreciate you. I hope you
Likewise,
guys will be
gentlemen.
tuned in tomorrow night and Friday. It's gonna be a blast.
Give me the slot demon, man. Give me
All
the
right.
slot demon.
Man.
I
As I said
won't
for
force
the
it.
Jets, hey Cleveland, you need consulting fee, whatever you want to do. Just let us know.
There you
We'll
go.
get this thing turned around to the right
There you
direction.
go.
Oh, I got you. I see. Okay, we have a conversation. I got you. Okay. Denver, finally. Last team who hasn't picked yet. Oh, they have Waddle. So that's covered. Are they covered here? I have to go look at their roster. Do they still have?
There's a fairly significant need at tight end.
Yeah, I know that one's a. They have DJ Jones, don't they? They still have him.
I think so.
Okay.
Do they?
Yeah. Okay. So that
Did
may
he
be.
end up? I think
Oh,
so.
did he go to Tennessee or did he stay? That's like the only place.
Ooh,
Did he leave?
I'm not sure. Let's see.
Oh no, wait. Salah wouldn't have wanted a nose. He's probably still there.
No, he's still in Denver. He's
Yeah.
still in
Okay. So
Denver.
we're good. Okay. So we're good on that. We don't have to do this, which is fine. I don't think you have to
Big
chase that.
Citrus.
Oh no, they got Barron. They're gonna be comfortable with seeing what he can do. Oh, well, I know he's just moved spots, and it feels like a home to him. Actually, I mean,
they could
he
add more teeth to that pass rush.
he could kind of do both if they really wanted him to, because they're a little bit light in both rooms. Oh, is there anybody else who's like? No, these are all Smalls and Crawford. Yeah, it's been too chalk. I've been giving him Stowers so much, and Barham's more fun. Let's do that.
I like it.
As New England. Wait, no, what do we? Parker. Okay, so maybe that would have been potentially too much in that direction, but you never know. So we got TJ Parker for them. And so now, I guess I want to see maybe.
What's it look like
O-line.
at tackle?
Got Tiernan. Obviously, Dunker's played it, but probably not going to. Bart, I guess here. Let me take that off. Barber, Bell, Cronover.
I wouldn't rule out because, well, if AJ Brown if it's a foregone conclusion, then I wouldn't do it. But clearly, by adding Dobbs
Yeah.
and still pursuing AJ Brown, that there's a you know
Yeah. There's something.
there's something that they're trying to push the pendulum here.
Yeah.
But I
Are they good
think
at linebacker?
I think they could stand to improve there. That might be a decent spot for Gallday.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the tackle position.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there.
Yeah,
I mean, he moves so
yeah. I was going to
well.
mention
He does
Markel.
move
I was going to
incredibly
mention
well for what
Markel.
is he? Yeah, 6'9" or 6'8" and
You, you,
change.
you know what? You know what, Jake?
I mean,
Just because he's my guy, I'm going to force the issue. Give me Bud Clark. It's my
okay.
last pick in the mock draft. Give
Yeah,
me Bud
I like
Clark.
it. I like that. Yeah, I think that's a Vrabel love to have a player like that. And the
Yeah.
good news for everybody is that I didn't let Barham fall to Seattle because I definitely would have picked him there if I had let him fall. And I'm glad I prevented that from happening because I feel like that kind of keeps them from doing something like that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
might just be what we have to do. Now they could I
Yep.
mean they could do safety, right? Because I think they lost Bryant. I don't remember if they really brought anyone in of note. Not that there were that many safeties on the
No,
move this offseason.
no, I don't think so.
I might be able to be talked into this because I think that's where he moves anyway. Because again, I don't think he's the
Nickel.
twitchiest or good at block deconstruction. He's kind
Mm-hmm.
of more of just see it, go get it. Had probably the interception of the year. Essentially mossing the Arizona State guy. So I could be talked into that. But let's John Schneider can't help himself. They might do it at 32. They might take Bryce. They might take Bryce at 32. I don't know. John Schneider gets into these weird moments in drafts where he's like, you know what? I want to feel something, and he took take
I want to feel
Rashad
something.
Penny. I wanted to feel something. I took
Right.
Rashad Penny all these years ago. This is a little less egregious, I think, and
Oh man,
they definitely.
No,
I mean,
I
they
think
need
this is a
something.
good pick.
They
This
need
is a
something.
good
I
pick.
mean, Charbonnet's
In
coming
my
off
mind.
injury, yeah, and so they
Yeah,
lose Walker.
yeah,
That'll probably do it. Okay, well there you go. I
Yeah.
mean, 2 rounds. You know, as far as time goes, don't worry about it. We want to talk about the players. What do you want us
Don't
to
worry
do?
about it.
What do you want us to do? Just pick and just move on? That's not as fun. That's nowhere near as fun. What I do love about this simulator is they show you the runs of like positions really quick on the sides,
touch.
which is like, yeah, I love
Nice
that.
touch.
Of like, hey, linebacker had a run here, edge had a run where you expect it probably. We got the defensive tackles moving to kind of where we think they're going to go on Friday. Yeah. Yeah. And then the offensive tackle runs in the first round, which is
Yeah,
kind of what we expect. So, yeah, I do like that they do that. And then you get to see your percentages, your distribution too. A lot of edge rushers, which, hey, yeah, 13 edge rushers. What is this? It's 8 defensive tackles. Get after the QB.
it's a good class for him. It's a
Yeah,
good class.
and 11 offensive linemen, which there might be more. Dunker could throw in there. Bell, we kind of mentioned there.
Yeah,
Like there could
yeah.
still be others, but I mean, when you look at it, it comes down to that. And trenches dominated, and I would expect nothing less when I have the CPGM guys, especially Juice, come on and do these because that's where you have to focus. Everybody else likes the flashy picks of like, hey, look at this, what this
You got to
corner
build
could
it from
do,
the inside out.
and it's
man.
like you can't. And I think we're gonna see that probably tomorrow night. There's gonna be runs
can-
some point.
Absolutely. You can have a good season. You can have a nice run with just the bells and whistles. But you can't sustain success that way.
Yeah,
You can't. Whenever I think about the Eagles and their success, yes, they have great players on the perimeter, right? They doubled up a couple years ago with the corners, right? They did these things, but it was Milton Williams. It was You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
it was that offensive line. It starts up front on either side of the ball, man. It
and
does.
glad you brought up Milton Williams because like that's the vein of like players brought it up at the beginning, right? Of like, hey, what are we chasing this D tackle class? Milton Williams, Ojimo, guys like that who are maybe not the full time starters, at least not at the
Hmm.
moment, and you just
Hmm.
chase guys who are going to go get the QB, right? Peter Woods falls into that category, and
Hmm.
I think Halton and Proctor do too. And I think there's just going to be, I think teams are going to try to force the issue a little bit. I think that's where we kind of see that, and that's I imagine. I do think we're going to get that. So Atlanta got the only A+, probably because
With their one pick,
Boston fell
right?
that far, and
Right.
it was like
Value,
value.
the
I'm
value.
surprised Green Bay got a B- for picking a guy who was 111 on the consensus board there at 52, and Tampa Bay got a D+ for taking
Oh wow!
who they got who was it?
In the first,
It was Lawrence after
it was a
trading
trade
down,
down.
right?
Okay, so the
And
Lawrence, yeah.
then they got
It was off ball backer, right?
did they get
Or did we go in a different direction? Receiver. Did you go receiver?
Trotter. Oh, they didn't
Oh,
like the Trotter
Trotter.
one.
There's your
Okay.
off
They
ball
didn't like the
backer.
Trotter.
Yeah,
Okay. Which,
yeah.
to be fair, if I didn't realize Rodriguez was still on the board, they probably would have got him there, and I think they probably would have got A+. But yeah, really like this sim. For those who are watching, like this is a really cool one that's been set up.
It's a nice model.
And
It's my
it's
first
not
time
one.
seeing it, actually.
Yeah, this is. I
Hmm.
don't know if you saw this. Maybe not. But this was initially put together of like, hey, go through the entire offseason, like sign the free agents,
Oh, really?
do all that stuff. Yeah, which I think you can still do, but obviously it's people got really hyped on it right before it started. But
Sure.
you can go through that, so you can do a whole offseason, which I know
Nice.
you guys used to do a lot of those on the
Yes.
show when
Yes.
you went live, and you would do a lot of those. This might be a nice little
Yes.
spot for
That
it,
might
but
be the tool to support that. Yeah, I
yeah.
like it. I like it.
Any drafts in particular you're like, this is excellent.
Um,
Hope they do this. I mean, two come to mind because we had a
I,
bunch of picks for both of them,
yeah,
but like,
the Jets was phenomenal.
yeah,
What we did with
that's
the Jets was phenomenal.
yeah. So for
I
those who
really
don't
like what
know,
we did with the
Reese,
Giants. So the New York teams,
yeah, the New York teams, they need they need a boost. And yeah, so the Jets
Um,
got Reese, Lemon, Pons, and
mhm,
Rodriguez, which my
mhm.
goodness, just
My
all of that, just give me all of that. And the
my
Giants, who
goodness.
I honestly am a little more intrigued by because I think they have a better launching point. They have better launching point potential from a draft like this. They get Love, Ioane, and Colton Hood, which
Hmm.
address a lot
Hmm.
of what they need. So
Yeah, and I was very much considering Chris Bell at 37. Very much considering it.
man, yeah,
Like
yeah,
just give Dart, the keys to
everything,
the Maserati, honestly.
yeah.
Who else stood out? I
Houston,
think you
Houston, sure. Caden McDonald, Chase Basantis, and Grayson Halton. For those who didn't see them all,
honestly,
goodness sakes,
honestly,
just send it in.
if we went with McNeil Warren, um,
Man, good night.
that that's competing. That's competing with the Jets draft at that point.
Yeah.
We are in deadlock with the Jets draft at that point.
Well, because if
How do
they
we do with
don't,
Cleveland?
if
How do we do with Cleveland?
if McNeil Warren goes to the Houston, there's a good chance. I mean, this could have been K Mac or Miller here,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Or either way, however you want to do it, you could have gone all defense potentially. Basantis might have come
Yeah.
off the board at some other point and still would have been an all defense draft. Cleveland was Tyson and Ian Nachor after a couple moves, which is not unlike the Browns to move around the draft. Very possible that they don't pick at either 6 or 24. Keldrick Falk, I believe, was the pick
Hmm.
at 39.
39. Yep.
And then 61 was Keontae Scott. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
nice
pretty
when you
good
got
too.
it's pretty good when you got lots of picks.
Pretty good.
Fano and Banks for the Ravens. Again,
Mm,
eat the vegetables, but still some baked upside in there.
there you go.
That's pretty nice. I know we didn't get to the third round, but obviously Miami and Pittsburgh would probably have an amazing haul because they have they combined for what feels like half of the third round. But Miami got Styles, Blake Miller, and Terrell.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good start over there for them. So
KC went with Downs.
Yes. Mesidor.
Mesidor. And then
Chris Bell.
Yeah, I like that one.
Ooh,
I think they're right back in the thick of things. Yep.
Juice for them.
Yep.
Simpson and Cooper for the Steelers. Fix some offensive stuff. It's pretty interesting. I mean, the Chargers, I guess, Proctor and Rutledge is a pretty nice way to go about a draft. Even though maybe people won't like it.
They listen. You'll like the fact that you at least have some warm bodies on your offensive line.
Yeah, it's
it's
not the honestly, dog days in November, and it's like, man, who we got starting today? Oh, we drafted those 2 rookies. Whew, thank goodness.
Yeah.
We're in a better spot than I thought. Like it will show itself at some point for that.
And those 2 rookies could supplant the current starters, right?
Yeah.
On the depth chart. I don't think Strange and Penning are foregone conclusions.
No. And Biotish obviously is there a couple of years, but I know there's been talk about Rutledge. He's getting some center looks, like perhaps even in time he takes over that role perhaps, and then you're set at a position maybe longer term than kind of the rental that is Biotish. Not that he's not a steady player that they need, but gives you that there's just some best 5 level of versatility with that on top of it that I think they should feel really good about. The Bears got Woods, Sutton, and Halsey. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Take those for them.
It's not a bad haul.
There were a lot of teams that went trenches only. Detroit was another one. Freeling and Akis. That's take those for sure.
What do we do with Philadelphia?
Concepcion.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the pick, and it wasn't that long ago. I feel like I should remember. Derek Moore.
Derek Moore. Okay.
Not sure if Grenard's coming or not, but yeah.
Right.
Could they be a Markel Bell team?
I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible.
So
yeah, I'm getting a sense that Bell is going to go in the top 75.
It does.
Getting that sense. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you're gonna swing, I feel like after the list of tackles. I mean, we took so many tackles, and then we basically didn't take anyone else.
Well,
I mean,
exactly.
That's how it feels.
It's going to be a run. Exactly.
Where it's like, who's gonna topple the next domino at that position? Where it's like, do you feel good about a Tiernan or a Travis Burke, right? Guys like that, where it's, maybe not as confident. And it's like Bell's probably feels like the guy who should break the ice on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just be interesting to see where he goes, because again, he is in a class that's got a lot of guys with the short arms and the size questions, and then you got the other end of the spectrum.
No questions along those lines.
With Bell, yeah, no questions there with him or Proctor or anybody like that. So,
yeah, I think the best value pick for my money is Banks at 45.
If everything comes together, that's going to look. I mean, that's Baltimore. What are we doing?
If he puts it together, oh my goodness.
This is a Baltimore spec. We almost gave Baltimore Rodriguez. We almost did that. So we didn't really. Maybe Fana wasn't like the super steal at 14, but we almost gave them. I mean, we probably still did give them probably insane value at 45. They're going to do it at some point, people. We just want to make sure there's a little bit of realism in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really good one. Yeah, in terms of value. I mean, I know the simulator doesn't like it. Pond's at 33.
Hey, man.
I can't. You're not going to get me quit him. I'm not going to quit him ever.
The simulator might not like it, but Aaron Glenn's going to love it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the sim, like the Banks one, it likes Falk because that was, he fell on the board. Mm-hmm. Hood got the A+, Young and Terrell did, and Banks, and then Boston was the other A+ based on the board. But really good stuff. This was fun. I'm glad we got to do this. This is becoming another really fun tradition during draft week of like, hey, let's run through this and see what it looks like. I think if we look back to last year's, I think there's going to be a lot of O-line, D-line in there. I bet.
Yeah,
I would probably. I might go rewatch that while I'm finishing up some stuff and see how that looked.
Go.
But
there you go.
Yeah.
Likewise. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this one in a playlist on the channel, man. Because this was a lot of fun. And
yeah.
Definitely want to be able to look back on it in due time. You're working on your 27. Your first way too early. When do you think that's?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there in May for sure. I didn't do it last year, and that was really disappointing. Where I'm like, I can't do this on Monday this year, and that was unfortunate. So I'm like, no, we're not. I think I was just gassed from last year, and just like did a couple of post draft things, and was like, I got to put this away. I can't. Yeah. I gotta go. I gotta take a break. So hopefully,
put it down and come back to it. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be good there. I might burn myself out even more post draft because I did less pre draft film stuff, but I'm probably going to do more once we get some teams here with guys like Rodriguez and Miller and Akis, all these guys like we're going to get some stuff out there for a lot of them and see if we could really send this thing upward into the stratosphere. So I might be burnt out, but no, I'm 27. I think the allure of making an early 27 mock is going to be too much.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be fun for sure. But
aiming high. I mean, I'm aiming high. Probably won't do much post draft stuff other than, an initial kind of a overview of the various classes for each team. But I want to get a jump. I want to get a jump on 2027. I want to have a good 100 or so prospects, 125 under my belt by the time the season starts. Yeah.
Well, are you going live tomorrow night? I'd make sure we plug everything.
Not tomorrow night,
but Friday.
Not tomorrow night. Yeah, Friday. I think I will go live, but not tomorrow night.
So for those people who know, just open a bunch of tabs on Friday. Open them up. I promise you're going to get really good. I promise you're going to get really good stuff. Whereas I heard at least last year was a lot of Kuiper complaining about the fall of Sanders, which I understand. We talked about it a lot when we did the thing Friday night last year, but we kind of kept it to one segment where it sounds like it was a thing after every pick. It was like after every pick, and we're still doing this. So if you want the analysis, that's two places where I think you definitely should go. I listen to their stuff always, guys. So that's the in-depth stuff. If you're willing just to sit down and listen and take the time to listen, you'll get the in-depth stuff. And that's what I think, that's what I think you guys deserve to listen to and consume at this time of year.
Absolutely.
You don't want the surface level stuff, We don't want the I like this player, I don't like this player. We want the okay, here's where I think the problems arise, where we, how the fit looks, all of that stuff. We want to make sure you have all that. So I think two places Friday night for sure. Definitely look at that. And obviously, of course, you are invited Friday night to recap if we want to do that again, like we've been doing in past years as well. I think it's an awesome time to just kind of get the bearings on what's going on. So always welcome for that.
Yeah, man. If I got gas in the tank, I'll be there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anything else to plug on the way out?
Just the channel once more, like Jake said, open up multiple tabs, get different browsers, whatever you need to do, whatever you need to do, in order to get that information. I think I'm gonna play Spectator Sport tomorrow. I'm gonna play Spectator Sport tomorrow, but certainly Friday, I'll jump in the fray. I think it's gonna be really intriguing rounds 2 and 3.
Always
see
is.
how this
Always a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's what energizes me the most. So
it's like, all right, you've done something, but where do you go from here?
Yes.
How do we if you're the Jets, you had a great night one. All right, now what do you got in the tank?
Low hanging fruit, 2 and 16, low hanging fruit. So now you got to go to work.
Exactly. Giants 5 and 10. Cool. You got picks 5 and 10. You better hit on those. Let's go see. What 37 has in store. And great news, Friday, guys. The Packers will be picking. That's great news. Can't wait. We'll be seeing we'll be there when the Packers finally pick. We'll see if it's Proctor. I think that's where I'm leaning prediction wise as well. At this point, I think I feel like that's where they're. It seems like it's fallen into place that way. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe it'll be Mike Washington. What are you gonna do? Everybody's gonna flood to me. Everybody on planet Earth is gonna go find me if they pick Mike Washington. I guarantee it.
Oh my goodness.
But
What a mistake that would be.
it's got the AJ Dillon vibes all over it again. Just very much like,
does.
hey, you know what? I understand why you want a player like this. Just why in the 50s did you want a player like this?
That's not the spot for it.
So-
If I don't recommend Jadarian Price there either, but that's the direction I would go in if I felt compelled. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like just to me at least. Like I get if you have like a need there and you have like everything set in stone, like Seattle I think still has like interior O-line help, like they could probably do it. They could probably take Coleman. Like if you really want to and you ate the vegetables in round 1, like that's fine. You can go do that. You're the Super Bowl champs, whatever. That's fine.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I mean, just teams that I just don't think like for Green Bay, I don't think the O-line's very good right now. I think the interior's got a lot of questions. Is Sean Ryan going to play center well long term? Both guards underwhelmed last year. I know one was a rookie, but he's 24 years old. Like the 24-year-olds in this class, we've looked at a lot of them, right? The Stukes, the Keontae Scotts, the Mesidors, the Rodriguez, they're coming in with like, hey, I can play. Like I'm good to go right now, and you're just Lee Hunter, another good one. Yeah, of just like, okay, but what are we gonna see from you? So it's just it would be very, very strange. I hope it's eat vegetables. I hope they don't have to take Proctor at 52, and they can take Rutledge and Proctor, and just that would feel nice to me. But we'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's going to be fun to see what Dallas does tomorrow night. You get to be a spectator and see kind of what he's got cooking. Hopefully it's one of the Ohio State guys for you.
Listen, man.
I mean,
Dallas is a train wreck. I don't know how they messed this up, though. I don't know how they messed this up.
I mean, there might be
there's a possibility they could. And they probably will.
Falk would probably be one of the picks.
Will McClay. I think Will McClay will speak some sense into.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's something like Downs and Lawrence for you, and then all the Cowboys fans can flood to the Lawrence video and enjoy. Because man, I think if I'm leaving with a hot take, it's I think a couple things. If you got rankings hot takes, throw them out there. If you want to quick, I think Miller's OT1 for me. I think everybody else ahead of him just has to kick inside. Iheanacho's not one right now, but I agree with you what you said when you picked him. Like I think he could be that for sure.
Right.
I think Lawrence is probably edge 4 for me overall. I got Proctor at 3. Just chase it all day.
You're going for it.
Chase it all day from Proctor. Give me all of it. And I think I got Barham. I got Barham a lot higher than a lot of the edge rushers too.
Yeah.
I think he's just the way he plays is why.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the one that jumps out is Bud Clark. I have Bud Clark at 4.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Coleman is my 2 at running back,
which I feel like is probably a little bit warmer now because it just feels like Price has like completely solidified himself. But yeah.
I got Pawns at 3.
Yes, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. It's just
I have Kristen Miller. Let me think about this. I think I have Kristen Miller at 2.
Yeah.
I'm a Kristen Miller guy.
I said Proctor 3, right? This is what I said.
Yeah.
Proctor 3. I think it's McDonald and Miller in some order at the top for me. And then Proctor 3rd.
And then I think I have like Halton. Halton's in my top 5.
I think he's got to be. I think he has to be. Yeah. I think some of the nose tag, like did the Lee Hunter video, loved it. Loved him as a player. I think the athleticism, the high pad level, it could be a question.
Woods turning and getting and not staying square to the line of scrimmage, man. Like,
I don't know why he does that. And then when he gets that plant foot down, we're in good shape, but he doesn't always.
We're in very
get
good
the,
shape.
We don't always get the plan foot down. It's the problem, and so yeah, I think he's got
Square and get those
questions.
arms extended, man.
I think Woods has questions to me, and again, Banks is the volatile one in that. It's
Right.
It's a tricky group.
Right.
Like I feel like if you're just going to swing, you might as well Banks, Halton, Proctor. Just
There you go.
grab one of them, and see what happens.
There you go.
It just feels like that type of class. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate it. Anything else to plug as we go out of here and we're just basically throwing names out here at the end. This is great.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to catching your stream. I'll be in your comments. I'll be in your comments again.
Right.
You can find me at CPGM NFL Draft on YouTube. Couch Potato General Manager.
Yeah, that'll be linked down there for anybody catching this.
Bane Edge 1, by the way.
There you go.
Bane Edge 1.
There you go. Love that. Love that. But yeah, thank you again. It's always a lot of fun. And thank you to the commenters who, I know it was a pretty heavy Green Bay crowd coming in, but it was cool that a lot of you stuck around because again, you got to see what might happen before 52. There's a lot of picks to go before Friday night. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope to see you all tomorrow, and hope to see you all with split screens on Friday. Is all I'll say for that. So yeah, thank you guys again, and yeah, we'll see you very soon. I almost said today because I feel like we're getting there.
It's almost
not quite. We're getting there though. But take care. Get some sleep, everybody. It's Christmas is tomorrow. And thank you again. Hit the thumbs up if you're still watching it on the way out as well. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.